Hello, your channel Eugene Light Novels greets you. I hope you are enjoying these beautiful novels. Now, let's continue with the novel, Job Transfer for All, My Master Can Only Ban Curses. First part. Chapter 1, Testing the Vision. In the 182nd year of the Blue Star calendar, the game came to reality, and since then it has entered the era of universal job transfer. Now that 210 years have passed, I don't need to say more about the importance of the awakening ceremony. It is no exaggeration to say that today will be the most important day in your life. At this time, listening to Principal Chi's speech on the podium, there were thousands of people in the lecture hall, and everyone's face could not hide their expectation. Even though they had heard these words over and over again, on this day, everyone still couldn't help but tremble slightly with excitement. Today will be the day when all their senior high school students will change jobs. At this time, Chenishu, who was sitting in the back row by the window, also moved his eyes slightly. As a time traveler, it has been 3 years since he came to this world. When the game came to this parallel world, countless dungeons and secret realms appeared on Blue Star, as well as countless treasures. After everyone changes careers and awakens, they can upgrade their level and obtain equipment by going out in the wild or entering a dungeon. The purpose of the schools set up by various countries is to cultivate stronger professionals. The status of powerful combat professionals is very transcendent. Although some practical life professionals can make ends meet relying on their skills, they are not worth mentioning in comparison. Chenishu understands the hardships of ordinary people's lives very well. Chenishu is an orphan. Thanks to the help of a kind-hearted mother and daughter next door, he has been able to survive these years. Otherwise, I'm afraid that Chenishu won't be able to survive the day of the job transfer conference and will starve to death. As a man of 2 lives, he must seize the opportunity like today. He not only wants to survive in this world, want to become a strong person in this world. Okay, then please prepare to step onto the job transfer stage according to the name I read and accept the job transfer. Principal Chi's greasy middle-aged face was full of smiles. Obviously, he has the same expectations for today's job transfer meeting. The elegant woman wearing a white cheongsam standing next to the principal was responsible for this transition to pastor. She did not hide her career information, everyone can see it. Her name is Bai Qianqian. He is a level 34 holy priest. It has now been successfully transferred 3 times and is very strong. It can be said that any team of job changers hopes to have such a priest join them. And it is said that she can get a reward of millions just by completing job transfer tasks for the school. And this is a huge sum of money that many people who are awakened in life may not be able to save in 10 years. This is the huge gap between combat professionals and life professionals. Wang Yuan successfully changed his profession to a lifestyle profession, alchemist. Su Haotian successfully changed his profession to warrior. Wu Yu successfully changed his job to a lifestyle occupation, ironsmith. As students one after another walked onto the job transfer stage, everyone's hearts are gradually becoming more and more expectant. The few students who transferred to combat professions were very excited. Their lives would be completely different from now on. At this time, people suddenly screamed around. A strange phenomenon soared into the sky from the job transfer rune stones. The turquoise light illuminates the whole place. It's a vision. Our school has its first hidden profession so quickly. It's so irritating that people are so beautiful. Even though she's pretty, she actually awakened a hidden profession. Hey, even in Jianghai City, only a few people can awaken the hidden profession every year. Judging from the probability, we have no chance. What do you think? The probability of hiding a profession is lower than winning the lottery? I'm so thankful that I can awaken a rare profession. The probability of a rare profession is only 1 in a million. I definitely don't have that good luck. At this time, Bai Qianqian's expression didn't change much after seeing the strange phenomenon in the sky. After all, she has seen strong winds and waves. It can only be said that Jiang is a very lucky girl. A moment later, after the vision ended, she announced the results of Jiang Ku's job transfer. Jiang Ku successfully changed his profession to a forest mage. At this moment, the whole place was in an uproar. It's really a hidden profession. Even the principal stood up excitedly. He couldn't help but applaud and laugh. Ha ha ha, good. This really brings glory to our Jianghai No. 1 middle school. Forest mages have higher defense than ordinary mages, and can also learn high-level natural spells. The strength far exceeds that of ordinary mages. With exaggerated damage and survivability, he is also the best among hidden professions. As long as you develop well, your future achievements will be limitless. The emergence of such a promising genius so quickly is undoubtedly a good start and doubles everyone's confidence. After that, names were called one after another, and everyone walked onto the stage with excitement to change jobs. But most people are not so lucky. In the end, I only awakened to life-type professions, not even ordinary combat-type professions. In the future, these people will have to struggle to survive as ordinary people. After a while, Bai Qianqian finally called Chen Yishu's name. He clenched his fists slightly. Success or failure depends on this. He slowly walked onto the stage, followed the instructions, and placed his hand on the job transfer rune stone. Suddenly, a cold feeling came from the palm of his hand. The next second, boom! The dark light slowly dripped along the edge of the rune stones like liquid, gradually converging into a huge sphere. The sphere gradually grew larger and slowly rose, hovering over the venue. Just when everyone was surprised, the sphere exploded instantly. Mysterious runes spread among them. There seemed to be an imprint of an ancient magic circle on the dark halo, and it enveloped the entire job transfer venue in an instant. The whole venue suddenly fell into chaos. At this moment, even Bai Qianqian, who was originally elegant and dignified, showed an extremely rare expression of shock. After a long time, she slowly said in surprise, "This kind of vision, is this the only profession?" Chapter 2 Forbidden Arcanist. Looking at the huge black halo hovering above their heads, everyone present was also shocked by this momentary vision. This halo exudes a deep and extremely oppressive aura. Although they had just seen the vision when Jiang Ke woke up. However, Chen Yishu triggered a vision at this time. Far more terrifying than her vision. The two are simply not comparable. The mysterious runes had a power that frightened them. Such a terrifying vision, what kind of profession does this have to be? Is it also a hidden profession? No, he is much scarier than Jiang Ke's vision. He is probably the only hidden profession. Oh my god, how could this guy Chen Yishu have such good luck? If I had known, I would have had a good relationship with him back then. Damn it! All the students and teachers present who participated in the job transfer were envious. This time, even the principal, who was originally smiling, couldn't sit still at this time. If such a vision really represents a unique profession, then the entire school will benefit from it. It is not impossible that Jianghai No. 1 middle school will be promoted to a key middle school next year. The unique profession is not only extremely rare, but also powerful. Not just the entire Jianghai city. Even if we look at the entire Great Xia Dragon Kingdom, those with the same level of talent are rare. And these people are all top human race experts who can intimidate one party. In an S-level secret realm, no one would be allowed to attack and plunder if there is no strong person with a unique profession in charge. This shows how much Principal Qi is looking forward to Chen Yishu's transfer. After a period of commotion, the halo in the sky gradually dispersed. The sun shone into the venue again. At this time, Bai Qianqian, who was in charge of job transfer, also slowly recovered from the shock. She composed herself and then read the result. Chen Yishu successfully changed his job, his career. Mage. Suddenly, the entire venue fell silent. Such a huge vision just now turned out to be just an ordinary mage. You must know that when Jiang Ke transferred to the hidden professional forest mage just now, the movement was much smaller than that of Chen Yishu. As a result, you made such a big fight and finally told me. Just an ordinary profession? Is this reasonable? Although, the master profession is considered relatively strong among ordinary professions. The upper limit of master is fine. When the skill level increases in the later period, Master FA will have strong output ability and certain field control ability. If you can master a certain spell to the top level, the damage of this spell skill will also be very considerable. But no matter how you say it, in the final analysis, mages are just ordinary professions. In the early stage, Faye's chanting time was long, his magic power was insufficient, and his skin was brittle, which are all well-known problems. In short, Chen Yishu awakened to this profession. Not enough compared to the top, but more than enough than the bottom. However, everyone felt that the result of Chen Yishu's career change was completely unmatched by the terrifying vision just now. Bai Qianqian on the stage was stunned. She looked at the job transfer rune stone in front of her, with a trace of doubt in her eyes. She didn't expect that Chen Yishu's final profession would be an ordinary mage. I have hosted so many awakening meetings, and countless students have met the awakening mage. But no one has ever had such a terrifying vision like him. At this time, Chen Yishu was on the spot, looking at the sky above his head as if in a daze. The principal thought he had been hit and came over. He patted Chen Yishu on the shoulder and said, "It's okay. Master FA's career is not bad. There is still hope for the future. Although it's not as good as those hidden professions, you can still make good progress by joining some good magician guilds after your second turn." At this time, Chen Yishu nodded slowly, and then responded with a thank you to the principal. He walked off the stage silently. In fact, Chen Yishu just now was not in a daze. It's because after the job transfer is completed, an information panel exclusive to them will appear in front of them. However, when Chen Yishu saw the strange data on his information panel, he froze. Name, Chen Yishu. Level 1. Occupation, Mage, wrong. Physique, 33. Magic power, 134. Strength, 9. Spirit, 56. Speed, 11. Equipment, none. Combat power rating, 2 stars. If you say that on this data panel of yours, except for the error behind your profession, which is a bit annoying, the rest is considered normal. Then, when he accidentally scanned his skill panel, his pupils really tightened immediately. Because after profession awakening, combat professions will come with 2 to 3 first-level primary skills. But Chen Yishu's skills were completely different from what he originally expected. My initial skills, Fireball and Slowness, were inexplicably maxed out. Chen Yishu checked the detailed panel of skills. Fireball, max chanting time 0.3 seconds, cooling time 5 seconds, consumption of 10 magic points. Active effect, generate a fireball in front of you, launch an attack in a straight line, and cause mental damage x30 to the nearest enemy on the route. Passive effect, after the fireball hits the enemy, it will cause explosion splash damage, causing spiritual damage x10 to surrounding enemies. There is a 50% chance of causing the enemy to enter a burning state for 5 seconds, causing mental damage x 1.2 per second. Slowness, max chanting time 1 second, cooling time 15 seconds, duration 10 seconds, consumption of 13 magic points. Active effect, specify 50 by 50 units in front of you to generate a sluggish swamp. Enemies enveloped in the swamp will suffer a negative gain of 70% slowdown. After reading it, Chen Yishu had only one emotion. The effect of the skill at full level is so terrifying. If I remember correctly, the effect of the first level fireball skill I learned in books. The damage caused should only be twice as much as the spirit. But now the damage has increased by 15 times. Moreover, the splash damage of the explosion is additionally increased. The key is the most outrageous. The most important chanting time for a mage has actually changed from 2 seconds to 0.3 seconds. From the previous charging skill, it directly became instantaneous. Chen Yishu found that he seemed to have awakened to something strange. At this time, intermittent mechanical sounds also came from his ears. Found data panel loading error. Under revision. Correction completed. Occupation, Forbidden Arcanist. Professional characteristics, you have the blessing of spells. All spells you master will automatically be upgraded to the highest proficiency, and there is a certain probability that the spells can be upgraded into forbidden spells. Your magic regeneration speed becomes 100 times as fast as before. When upgrading, your mental and magic attributes will receive additional bonuses. Only then did Chen Yishu realize that his profession was not a mage at all, but something I have never heard of before, a forbidden arcanist. Chapter 3: A unique profession. The moment he saw this panel data, Chen Yishu's expression condensed slightly. Forbidden arcanist? A unique profession? But among the unique professions known so far, there is no forbidden arcanist profession. Could it be that this is the only S*X profession that has never appeared? The only profession that appeared in history. As long as he did not die at a young age, he would be the top powerhouse in all major S-level dungeons. And it is not yet known how much ability he will be able to display in this profession that he has never seen before. However, this is only based on the professional characteristics that he has shown so far. The strength of this profession is far beyond what can be described by the word powerful. One of the current abilities of the forbidden arcanist is to reach the full level of all his skills. Even a small skill with a level A is even more powerful than other professions with high power. Chen Yishu clenched his fists. He knows that starting from today, his life will probably change completely. On the stage, one after another, the awakened ones completed their job changes. Although 2 rare professionals also appeared later. But it's still not as eye-catching as Jiang Ku's hidden profession. Finally, the job transfer conference ended successfully. The principal is also very satisfied with this year's awakening results, 1 hidden profession and 2 rare professions. The only fly in the ointment is that after Chen Yishu awakened from such a terrifying vision, he turned out to be just an ordinary professional. This is indeed a pity. Otherwise, if a unique profession appears in Jianghai No. 1 Middle School this year, that would be great. Maybe it will attract the attention of the military. However, Principal Qi also believes that everything is determined in destiny. At this time, he slowly said to everyone in the audience, "Everyone, today's job transfer conference has concluded successfully. All students who have awakened as combat professionals can start preparing for the graduation test in a week now. You also need to be clear that it is not just today's job transfer meeting that determines your life, the content of the graduation test is even more important. Your performance in this test will determine how many organizations will be willing to train you in the future, and will also determine your upper limit. So, please work hard this week." The students in the audience who had awakened to life-related professions were all uninterested, because this matter had nothing to do with them. They can only accept their limited future development and become ordinary people. Here, combat professionals have begun to form gangs. Because in order to meet the test, forming a team to improve your own strength is the fastest and best way. Most capable combat professionals will choose to join forces. Strive to raise your level to the theoretical best before the graduation test. Naturally, Jiang Ku, who had awakened his hidden profession, became the center of attention. Many powerful senior professions would like to invite Jiang Ku to form a team. After all, there is an extremely powerful forest mage to help, and the terrifying output ability is enough for them to kill indiscriminately in low-level dungeons. And here, some people also found Chen Yishu, hoping to form a team with him. After all, Master Fa's professional characteristics are quite popular here. At this time, 3 senior professionals slowly walked towards Chen Yishu. Then, he squeezed past the few people next to him and said to Chen Yishu in an arrogant tone, "Hey, Chen Yishu, you have awakened master, right? If you choose this profession by yourself, it will be very difficult to upgrade. You should know that. Why don't you come with us? The 3 of us are all high-level professionals. You just need to stand in the back row and deal damage. How about it? You won't refuse such a good opportunity, right?" Chen Yishu turned his head. He also knew the leader. He was a well-known rich man in the school, Lin Tian. These 3 people did not hide their information panels. They awakened the Shield Knight, the Healing Priest, and the Hammer Warrior respectively. All are relatively practical, advanced professions. The overall strength of their 3-person team is quite good, but Lin Tian originally planned to invite Jiang Ku to join. But unfortunately, Jiang Ku rejected them. There is no way. Lin Tian's lineup needs a mage to maximize their upgrade efficiency. So at this time, they could only do the next best thing and invite Chen Yishu to join. Several students around who originally planned to invite Chen Yishu to join saw that Lin Tian actually invited Chen Yishu. It can only dispel their original thoughts. Because they know that Lin Tian's team is obviously much stronger, and it is very enviable to join Lin Tian's team. However, just when everyone thought that Chen Yishu would definitely join Lin Tian's team, he unexpectedly said something calmly. "Sorry, I refuse." Lin Tian was stunned. Why? Does an ordinary master have a better choice? But before Lin Tian could speak, Chen Yishu had already walked away. Looking at Chen Yishu's back, the three of them looked at each other doubtfully. What does this guy mean? Is it possible that he couldn't bear the blow and went crazy? Okay. Lin Tian said to the other two people, "Leave him alone, it's not worth bothering with a waste. We have to upgrade as soon as possible to win the attention of Kunlun College." It is said that this year's Daxia Kunlun College discovered an S-level secret realm, and it is only open to the inside. Speaking of this, the eyes of the three people were filled with fire. Okay, we'll find other mages right away. Kunlun University is one of the best universities in the country. It is also the university with the strongest average strength in Jianghai City. It is said that the Great Xia Kingdom selects some elites from these universities every year. Go to the Holy Land for further study. Professionals who can come out of the sanctuary will have their strength and level greatly improved. It's no wonder that people like Lin Tian are flocking to Kunlun College. After all, entering the Kunlun University gate, it's like prying open the stepping stone to the Holy Land. After Chen Yishu here left the school, he slowly came to the nearest dungeon outside the city. There are novice copies of Goblin Village at levels 1 to 5, and advanced copies of Wild Boar Forest at levels 4 to 10. It can be said that it is one of the best places for newcomers to level up. Chen Yishu could also see that in front of the dungeon there were many students from other schools seeking to form a team. At this time, Chen Yishu entered the Goblin Village instance alone without even thinking about it. And before entering, he directly changed the difficulty of the dungeon to the highest king level. When Chen Yishu was about to enter the copy, a line of eye-catching red fonts appeared on the interface to prompt. It is recommended that more than 3 people go to the king level dungeon. Only one person in the team has been detected, and the risk factor is high. Do you want to continue? Because although it is easier to form a team, other teammates will share the experience and reduce the upgrade efficiency. And now Chen Yishu believes that with his abnormal skills and abilities, he can complete the dungeon alone. So at this time, Chen Yishu chose to continue without hesitation. In an instant, Chen Yishu's eyes flashed with light. Successfully entered the dungeon, Goblin Village, King Level. Chapter 4, The 9-Turn Magician Came to Massacre Novice Village. As soon as he entered the dungeon, Chen Yishu felt that the surrounding environment had changed drastically. The originally clear sky turned dark and gloomy. Low and hoarse roars kept coming from all around. Chen Yishu looks like wearing a black casual sweatshirt. Also has a slightly thin body shape. They all seemed a bit incompatible with the land in front of them, where the weak and the strong preyed on the strong. After a while, a green-skinned dwarf suddenly appeared in his field of vision. The job changer's own identification skills directly allowed him to see the panel of this thing. LV5, Violent Goblin Scout. HP, 50. Attack power, 5. Defense, 5. Frenzy, the enemy's desire to attack increases significantly. It is indeed a king-level copy. Not only has the level of the mobs been adjusted to the highest level, but it has also been added to a violent state. Among the novice dungeons, ordinary people will choose the normal level difficulty dungeon, because the monsters have little desire to attack actively, and killing them slowly can also increase the level. Although the king-level dungeon is more difficult, the experience and reward are also directly proportional. Hiss. Seeing the goblin grinning at him and showing his fangs, Chen Yishu slowly moved forward and took a provocative step. In an instant, the goblin rushed towards Chen Yishu with a ferocious expression on his face, as if he had been provoked. Chen Yishu smiled slightly. Just in time. Fireball. Chen Yishu jumped a few steps back, shouted loudly, and cast spells with both hands. In an instant, the air suddenly became extremely hot. The surrounding moisture was instantly evaporated. Even the sky above Chen Yishu's head was reflected in an orange-red color. And a blazing fireball, larger than the wash basin, suddenly appeared above his head, with tongues of fire raging. The heat as high as the sun seemed to melt everything. It's not like he hasn't seen the primary fireball technique before. It's about the size of an egg when performed. It has a certain attack power, but it's not strong. After all, it is a basic novice magic. Who has seen such terrifying power? The goblin who was about to rush over was also stunned, staring at the fireball in surprise with a pair of protruding dead fish eyes. What the hell? He has never seen it. Is there a bug in the dungeon? The 9-turn magician came to Novice Village to massacre the village? As an NPC, he lives in a primary copy and has never seen such new magic. Before he could react, Chen Yishu smiled evilly, raised his hand and waved a huge fireball, then flew towards the violent goblin scout. @ and *** and $% carat hashtag @. The goblin's eyes widened, and he cursed a few words before he could hear them clearly, and instantly turned into ashes. The explosion caused by the fireball technique turned a large area in front of Chen Yishu into scorched earth. The dark red embers and pitch-black soil all showed the power of the attack just now. All the scum is gone. Chen Yishu looked at his hands in shock. Wasn't the full-level skill too strong? Although he expected it to be powerful, he didn't expect it to be so strong. What shocked Chen Yishu the most was the battle data displayed in the lower right corner. After awakening to the profession, a light curtain similar to a game interface will appear in the line of sight of the job changer. The upper left corner is the character's health and magic value. The lower right corner uses text to display various information. Just like now, after Chen Yishu easily killed the goblin. That's what is shown. Kill the violent goblin scout, experience +10. Leap level kill, additional reward experience +10. Kill without injury, additional reward experience +10. As the system prompts continue to sound, Chen Yishu also stood there blankly. What shocked him was not the 30 experience points gained from killing the goblin scout, but the damage caused by his own fireball technique was actually as high as 1680. A level 1 mage. You don't even have to master any advanced spells to deal such damage. That's outrageous. He originally had no idea about the full-level fireball technique and the increase in Spirit X30. It wasn't until the damage figures were displayed that he felt terrible. A newly transferred mage, more than 1,600 damage. I wonder, who can do it? It is no exaggeration to say that if Chen Yishu downloads a copy, it will be like killing a mosquito with a cannon, just 2 words, kill instantly. But the sound produced by the explosion also attracted the attention of other violent goblins. After a while, Chen Yishu was surrounded by these goblin monsters with disgusting saliva at the corners of their mouths. You came just in time to save me the time to pick you out one by one. With the blessing of a professional characteristic that has a magic power recovery speed of 100 times, Chen Yishu doesn't have to worry about will battles at all. He even felt that the monsters in front of him were not enough to fill his teeth. Kill the violent goblin scout, experience +10. Kill the violent goblin warrior, experience +15. Kill the violent goblin shaman, experience +20. Leap level kill, additional reward experience +50. Kill without injury, additional reward experience +50. In less than a minute, Chen Yishu slaughtered all the monsters that rushed up. And the skyrocketing experience bar directly brought his level to level 2. Yes, you have reached level 2 in just a short time. The experience of the king level copy is indeed much more than that of the ordinary level. At this time he opened his system panel. Name, Chen Yishu. Level, level 2. Occupation, Forbidden Arcanist. Physique, 34. Magic power, 144. Power, 10. Spirit, 66. Speed, 12. Equipment, none. Combat power rating, 2 stars. Normally upgrading to a level is all attributes plus 1 point, the main attributes magic and spirit plus 5 points, and I have the professional characteristic of a forbidden arcanist, so do the magic and spirit add an additional 5 points each? Chen Yishu feels that this characteristic suits him very well. It has 100 times the magic recovery speed, as well as additional magic and mental bonuses. This shows that the skills Chen Yishu acquires in the future can be used immediately. There is no need to worry about insufficient magic value at all. Looking at his upgraded panel, Chen Yishu fell into deep thought. With the previous lessons, he no longer dared to despise these seemingly inconspicuous data. If the fireball spell is so powerful, then what will the maxed out slowness spell look like? With strong curiosity, Chen Yishu picked up a stone on the ground and threw it towards a stupid and violent goblin not far away. Just when the violent goblin turned around and prepared to fight back with the stick in his hand, Chen Yishu's slowness technique was also completed in an instant. There is almost no forward movement, it just appears out of thin air. Boom! The deceleration effect of up to 70% directly caused the goblin's movements to slow down visibly to the naked eye. The control period, which lasts up to 10 seconds, allows Chen Yishu to stably target any part of the goblin's body at will during this period. Chen Yishu didn't hesitate and threw a fireball directly at the head of the goblin in front of him. Then he looked to the lower right corner with expectant eyes. Fireball hit, damage 1980. At the same time, Lin Tian's team on the other side. Young Master Lin, why don't we three go in? There aren't many people who have changed their profession as masters. Even if there were, they would have joined other people's teams long ago. The priest who was with Lin Tian before returned to Lin Tian with a tired warrior. They did find several mages in front of the dungeon door. But they all already have their wives. Lin Tian said with a cold face, "No, keep looking for me. Don't you want to enter Kunlun Academy? As long as our team has another violent output, it will not be a problem to challenge the king-level dungeon. If we can even get a king-level dungeon if we can't pass the customs, why should Kunlun College take a fancy to us?" While he was teaching these followers a lesson, a figure passed in front of him. Lin Tian quickly stopped him. "Wait a minute, I remember you seem to be Tang Hao, the one who transferred to the rare profession of flame mage?" Tang Hao glanced at him disdainfully. "If you don't know, please get out of the way. I'm very busy." Lin Tian chuckled. "Our team happens to be short of a mage, do you want to come?" Tang Hao just wanted to refuse, but when he saw Lin Tian's team configuration, he regretted it. A team of 2 in the front row and 1 wet nurse is simply the perfect combination that a mage dreams of. "Okay, since you are so enthusiastic, I can't refuse." The few of them hit it off immediately and were directly teleported into the copy. "Listen up, let's fight the ordinary level goblin village first to get used to it, and then." Before Lin Tian finished speaking, Tang Hao started chanting the fireball technique and threw it towards the goblin scout not far away. "What are you talking about? Just do it. Don't you know that the fire mage's fire magic can increase the damage by 3 times? The mobs in the ordinary level goblin village only have about 10 points of health." After Tang Hao's fireball technique was thrown, the damage number was indeed displayed in the lower right corner. It's actually as high as 9 points. Chapter 5 Elite Monsters Among Goblins. But Lin Tian and the others obviously don't know what the mage's damage standards are. In the eyes of ordinary people, Tang Hao's output is already considered top-notch. The soldier also echoed from the side, "Master Lin, this Tang Hao is good. One skill can take away most of the goblin's blood. With him here, our upgrade efficiency will definitely increase." Lin Tian also sneered at this time and said, Our team just lacks a strong output. Now the addition of Tang Hao has made up for this shortcoming. I was blind at the time, how could I fall in love with someone like Chen Yishu? When he sees Tang Hao rising to several levels in our team, he will definitely regret it in his heart." But while a few people were still chatting, Tang Hao had already pulled another group of goblins towards them. What are you doing standing still? Take the monster away. Tang Hao ordered Lin Tian and others with a slightly arrogant tone. Although Lin Tian felt a little unhappy, he still did as he was told. However, Tang Hao seemed to be too confident in his own skills. This batch of monsters hadn't been cleaned up yet, so he went directly to pick up the next batch. Lin Tian finally couldn't bear it anymore, and he growled in a low voice, "Can you pull it a little less? Didn't you see that the pastor is almost overwhelmed?" As Lin Tian said, the priest has to take care of the health of the two front rows. He still had to find time to refresh Tang Hao's blood, because he kept attracting monsters and his blood volume had reached a precarious level. Tang Hao waved his hand and replied nonchalantly, "The more you pull, the more experience you will gain. Don't worry, it's just a group of goblins. Let me just give them to." Halfway through his words, Tang Hao suddenly froze. Due to his continuous release of fireballs, his magic power has bottomed out, which is also one of the shortcomings of the mage. And in such a moment of confusion, goblin attacks swarmed in. Soon, Tang Hao turned into a white light and was forcibly teleported out. Although the novice copy at this stage will not cause the death of the job changer. However, the experience points and props previously obtained in the dungeon are invalid. Tang Hao, who was still in his infancy, wasted so much time downloading copies. In the end, it was just a useless effort. It is estimated that now he just wants to crash to death. On the other hand, a team with no output wants to clear the instance. Even at the ordinary level, it is very difficult. Once there is no output, Lin Tian and the others will slow down in killing monsters. Once the killing speed slows down, more monsters will emerge. Wave after wave, eventually forming an unsolvable vicious circle. This is also one of the reasons why Master, a profession that is full of range attacks in the later stage, is so popular. You are doing something strange. They have already killed 3 people with fireballs. Tang Hao's stupid style of play really tarnished Master Fa's name. Kill the violent goblin rogue, experience plus 15. Kill the violent goblin hunter, experience plus 25. Leap level kill, additional reward experience plus 75. Kill without injury, additional reward experience plus 75. The battle data in the lower right corner started to refresh the screen as if it was free of charge. Chen Yishu, on the other hand, was walking in this king-level goblin village as if he were taking a leisurely stroll. Any monster that wants to get close to him will be controlled by the slowness spell. Then in front of the blazing flames, it turned into a touch of charcoal. He waved his hand and set fire to the prairie fire, and the talking and laughing monsters were wiped out. This is what the master should really look like. And Chen Yishu's experience bar has been rising since just now, like a cheat. If others saw this leveling speed, they would probably cry out of jealousy. In the hands of a group of newbies who have just changed jobs, Chen Yishu is definitely the one who upgrades the fastest. His professional characteristics gave him almost endless magic power. The full-level slowness technique and the full-level fireball technique allow him to kill monsters instantly in an extremely comfortable environment. While others are still struggling with ordinary level monsters. Chen Yishu has already become a barbecue master in the king-level copy. Every time a fireball is released, it accurately takes away the lives of a violent goblin and his companions around him. But, hit and hit. Chen Yishu also gradually discovered a problem. Although his own slowness technique is very effective. But after all, it is not 100% deceleration. Moreover, the locations of the violent goblins are scattered. Even after controlling it, you can't rely on the splash damage of the fireball to sweep away a large area. This made Chen Yishu a little unhappy. After cleaning up some violent goblins in the surrounding area, Chen Yishu set his sights on a small tribe not far away. The overall terrain of the dungeon goblin village is composed of goblin tribes one after another from bottom to top. There are far more goblins in the tribe than where Chen Yishu teleported to when he first entered the dungeon. If he wants to gain further experience, he must head towards the tribe. After taking care of the last few monsters in hand, Chen Yishu slowly approached the location of the tribe. At this moment, the tribe's door suddenly opened. Some violent goblins with strange symbols on their faces emerged from it. They chattered something to Chen Yishu. But Chen Yishu couldn't understand the goblin language at all. You can only use your best fireball technique to respond to them. Kill the violent goblin infantry, experience plus 25. Kill the violent goblin shooter, experience plus 25. Leap level kill, additional reward experience plus 75. Kill without injury, additional reward experience plus 75. Chen Yishu discovered that the violent goblins living in the tribe gave him experience. They were taller than the goblins I encountered when wandering around the forest before. Didn't you expect that the gap between rich and poor is also played in goblin society? It's really realistic. He smiled helplessly. Then all the top people in the goblin society were cremated. After killing for a while, Chen Yishu successfully reached level 3. Name, Chen Yishu. Level 3. Occupation, Forbidden Arcanist. Physique, 35. Magic power, 154. Power, 11. Spirit, 76. Speed, 13. Equipment, none. Combat power rating, 2 stars. Just when Chen Yishu was looking at his constantly updated attribute panel and was complacent, the violent goblins who had been baring their teeth and shouting loudly before suddenly retreated in panic. What's going on? Chen Yishu noticed the abnormality in front of him, so he held his breath and looked around. In the center of the tribe stood a simple tent made of animal skins and branches. A strange goblin with muscles all over his body, holding a giant axe, was slowly walking out of the tent. 2 sharp long teeth protruded abruptly from its mouth. And this strange goblin's skin is also dotted with orange lines. Appraisal skills are automatically enabled. Chen Yishu clearly saw the data of the muscle goblin in front of him. LV5, Violent Goblin Troll, Elite. HP, 73. Attack power, 15. Defense, 22. Magic resistance, 10. Frenzy, the enemy's desire to attack increases significantly. Skill, War Roar. Remarks, special individuals who are accidentally born among the goblin tribe are mixed with the blood of the fire troll. After their death, they will arouse the resentment of their parents. Magic resistance? I remember the book said that it is an attribute that can offset a certain percentage of magic damage. 10 points of magic resistance can reduce 10% of magic damage. No wonder it is an elite monster. Not only does it have skills, but it is also better than other monsters. The mobs have an extra magic resistance attribute. I don't know how effective my fireball technique is on him. After all, even the elite monsters in the king level dungeon have not yet reached 100 HP. And his fireball technique can already cause a terrifying value of 2280. Chapter 6 Range Skills, Blizzard. The goblin troll stared with blood-red eyes. He looked carefully at Chen Yishu, the uninvited guest. Obviously, what Chen Yishu did at the gate of the tribe before. It completely angered the leader of the tribe. The goblin troll roared, and then smashed the giant axe with a clang. The axe blade brought about bursts of air-piercing wind and strong vibrations coming from the ground. They are all reminding Chen Yishu. The elite monster in front of me is definitely not as simple as it seems. If attacked by such a powerful force. With the mage's fragile body, he must have died on the spot. When Chen Yishu was still thinking about what method to use to deal with the elite monsters, the goblin troll in front of him suddenly rushed towards him. Humph, want to be close to master? Dreaming. Chen Yishu used a slowness spell, which directly reduced the speed of the goblin troll to the speed of a snail. Just when he was about to slowly use the fireball technique to kill the elite monster in front of him, the sudden horn sound behind him made him feel dizzy. What? Why is it so noisy? Chen Yishu left after hearing the reputation. He saw some heavily armed violent goblins coming one after another behind him. If you don't follow martial ethics, you can just carry out a sneak attack. You can't afford it, you little trash, you don't even dare to confront me head-on. But Chen Yishu is very honest physically. He ran away instantly. Hesitating for a moment is disrespectful to one's profession. Being close to others is something only stupid pigs would do. Controlling the distance during combat is the basic skill of a mage. After escaping to a safe enough distance, Chen Yishu stopped and took a breath. It seems that the elite monster in the king-level dungeon is not so easy to deal with. If an ordinary team fights against him, I'm afraid there is really no way. If you concentrate on dealing with the goblins, you will be disturbed by the armed goblins. If you choose to kill the armed goblins behind you, you will be vulnerable to attacks from the goblin trolls. Chen Yishu's slowness technique only takes effect on the 50 by 50 units in front of him. Once the monster got around behind him, he could only choose to turn around and fight hard. Although I am not unable to fight, I am afraid it will be a bit stressful. After experiencing the encounter just now, Chen Yishu also discovered a shortcoming of his own. Although the damage of the fireball technique is very high, the range of my skills and the range of control are still not large enough. What was before him was an almost dilemma choice. When most people encounter this situation, they will basically give up. But Chen Yishu is obviously not an ordinary person. Looking at the only 2 initial skills in his skill bar, a bold idea kept sprouting from his mind. What will happen if I use slowness to release my own skills? Just do it. Chen Yishu first condensed a fireball technique on the spot. Then the moment it was launched, another layer of slowness was cast on it. Sure enough, under the influence of the slowness technique, the fireball seemed to plunge into the high-density liquid. The flight speed becomes extremely slow. I didn't expect it to work. Slowness can indeed treat fireball as a unit. Looking at his masterpiece in front of him, Chen Yishu laughed from the bottom of his heart. Chen Yishu couldn't wait to walk around the tribe. He set up the fireball spell that was slowed down by the slowness spell. Then he swaggered into the tribe's gate again. At this time, the goblin troll seemed to be going crazy, constantly destroying everything in the tribe. Being provoked by a small human being can still make him escape unscathed. This made the goblin troll feel unprecedentedly angry. The armed goblins stood there shivering. I prayed in my heart that the boss's indiscriminate attack would never fall on me. Hey, are you busy? Are you free to come and receive me? Chen Yishu stood at the door of the tribe with a smile. That relaxed posture is as comfortable as visiting the vegetable market. The armed goblin immediately changed its target and rushed towards him. But this time, Chen Yishu didn't even bother to use the slowness technique. He snapped his fingers lightly. A blazing fireball accurately landed in the center of the armed goblin behind him. Kill the violent armed goblin, experience plus 30. Kill the violent armed goblin, experience plus 30. Leap level kill, additional reward experience plus 75. Kill without injury, additional reward experience plus 75. Chen Yishu ignored the data prompt that popped up in the lower right corner. And the remaining armed goblins that poured out one after another. Every time they want to come up to prevent Chen Yishu from casting a spell. Naturally, there will be fireballs set up to destroy them. Moreover, if this kind of monster colony in the copy is not eliminated, the elite monsters or leaders will be destroyed. The mobs will flow out without limit. So his real target is the elite monster in front of him, the goblin troll. I saw that the goblin troll suddenly opened its mouth. Sound waves that looked like substance were continuously emitted from its mouth. I remember the book said that after the goblin troll releases its exclusive skills, there will be a period of weakness. As long as it survives, you can use the fireball to take it away. Chen Yishu subconsciously covered his ears. But what is unexpected is that this sound wave is just a faint attack. The goblin troll took advantage of Chen Yishu's opportunity and threw the giant axe in his hand towards him. The giant axe carries strong wind, rushing towards Chen Yishu's face. This time, not to mention the wizard, even a shield knight like Lin Tian who specializes in defense may not be able to block it. But there was no trace of fear on Chen Yishu's face. 3, 2, 1. just a second before the giant axe was about to come into contact with his body. A huge fireball directly knocked the axe away. The blazing high temperature inside the fireball directly burned the axe handle completely. Even the axe blade turned into a puddle of molten iron. This time, it was the goblin troll's turn to be stunned. Its tiny brain capacity could not understand where the fireball flew from. Receive. Following Chenishu's order. The fireball spell slowed down by the slowness spell was all released at this moment. 3 blazing miniature suns. With a spirit that swallows the sky and burns the earth. All concentrated on the goblin troll. Bang! A sound. A scene like a small nuclear explosion was staged in front of Chenishu. A mushroom cloud rose slowly over the tribe. This huge goblin tribe was reduced to rubble by Chenishu's attack. Even goblins have a magic resistance of 10. In the face of Chenishu's 3 consecutive fireballs, which caused more than 6,000 damage. There are indeed some things that are not enough to watch. Chenishu also used this method. It barely makes up for the shortcomings of not having a wide range of skills and not caring about the future. Experience plus 300 for killing the violent goblin troll, elite. Leap level kill, additional reward experience plus 100. Kill without injury, additional reward experience plus 100. Level increased to LV4. Level increased to LV5. The corners of Chenishu's mouth raised slightly. Cleaned up a goblin tribe, plus an elite level monster. He actually allowed himself to be upgraded 2 levels in a row. However, the prompt in the lower right corner is not over yet. It is detected that the Forbidden Arcanist level reaches LV5. Unlock range skills, Blizzard. Chapter 7 Hidden Monster. Name, Chenishu. Level, Level 5. Occupation, Forbidden Arcanist. Physique, 37. Magic Power, 174. Power, 13. Spirit, 96. Speed, 15. Equipment, none. Combat Power Rating, 3 stars. Skills, Fireball, Max, Slowness, Max, Blizzard, Max. After reaching level 5, the combat power also reaches 3 stars. And Chenishu's magic power is close to the 200 mark. The mental attribute is about to rise to 100. This means that he is throwing out the fireball skill casually now. The damage has reached an astonishing more than 2,800 points. This has set a new record for bacteria. According to historical records, after entering the era of job transfer for all people. In the novice stage of levels 1 to 5, the highest damage ever done by the Dragon Knight, the only profession, has just exceeded 1,000. This was a miracle that was barely achieved after several teammates from auxiliary professions added various buffs to him. And now, as Chenishu is a mage, the damage of the most basic fireball spell has exceeded the record by nearly 3 times. But these are no longer important. Regardless of whether he hits 1,000 or 3,000, he can completely walk sideways in a king-level copy. No monster can survive his terrifying field control and output abilities. What he is more concerned about is the newly unlocked range skill, Blizzard. According to the description in the book, LV1 Blizzard is a range skill of about 1 by 1. Can cause mental damage x 1.1 per second. But these are not important. What is important is that Blizzard has its own special ability to slow down the enemy. Moreover, the deceleration effect is different from the slowness spell and can be superimposed. Blizzard, max chanting time 1.5 seconds, cooling time 20 seconds, duration 10 seconds, consumption of 50 magic points. Active effect, designate any 10 by 10 meter area to form a violent blizzard, causing mental damage x 10 per second to enemies within the range, and there is a 30% chance of putting the enemy into a frozen state. Enemies in a frozen state will lose all ability to move. Passive effect, enemies in the blizzard area will have their movement speed and attack speed reduced by 50%. When attacking a frozen monster, there is a 3% chance of causing an instant kill. This is really... Chenishu looked at the description of this newly unlocked range skill. I don't know how to describe my current mood. It's like the refreshing feeling of a person walking in the desert and suddenly discovering an oasis. The range skill Blizzard not only makes up for his shortcomings of not caring about the future, and it can also be used in conjunction with slowness. Because slowness is a negative buff to monsters. The effect of Blizzard on reducing movement speed and attack speed is inherent in the skill. So after the two are superimposed, Chenishu can truly achieve stand-up output. Any attack that might threaten him. All were reduced to nothing under the dual control of Blizzard and slowness. Let me see what kind of surprise this system-certified range of skills will bring me. Chenishu licked the corner of his mouth. Then he looked at the wild and violent goblins wandering around the tribe. Lin Tian and his team on the other side, after being besieged by goblins, also fell out of the dungeon one after another, and their experience points dropped by 10%. Almost all their previous efforts were wiped out. After regaining Tang Hao, they started their second battle. Fortunately, this time their cooperation was better than before. The efficiency has also improved a lot. After cooperation, they can now handle 2 or 3 goblins in 1 minute. Brother Lin Tian, what do you think? Is this speed okay? Yes, it seems that if this continues, we should be able to reach level 2 soon. It seems that in the following games, no one should be able to surpass our speed. Huh, not bad. And the other side. Snowstorm. Boom. Chenishu stood where he was and started singing. Because it is a skill released within a specified range. He didn't even need to go there in person. In just a few seconds, more than a dozen goblins were killed instantly. For these goblins, it was a biting cold wind that penetrated their bodies. The weak snowflake crystals were like sharp steel knives, giving them no chance to resist. Chenishu looked at the battle data in the lower right corner and started a new round of prompts again. Blizzard, damage 960. Kill the violent goblin rogue, experience +5. Blizzard, damage 960. Kill the violent goblin hunter, experience +5. The passive effect of the blizzard is triggered, the goblin wanderer has been killed instantly, experience +5. Kill without injury, additional reward experience +20. Chenishu looked at the data prompts that kept popping up. Don't mention how beautiful it is. Although I have reached level 5 now. The experience gained from ordinary kills is no longer that impressive. But the huge scope of the blizzard perfectly made up for this shortcoming. Looking around, Chenishu's surroundings were completely filled with white. The trees are covered with snow and the solid ground is frozen. The goblin village seemed to have entered winter in an instant. Slowness can only target 50 by 50 enemies or skill units in front of you. But Blizzard has a real skill range of 10 by 10 meters. If only I could unlock this range skill sooner. Chenishu believes that even if he does not enter the tribe. Singing about the blizzard in the periphery. You can kill all the goblins in this area, including the elite level goblin trolls. Chenishu's upgrade speed began to increase further. Wherever he went, there was cold and heat. The upgraded mental attributes bring horrific damage. Even a range skill like Blizzard can kill an entire mob instantly. And sufficient magic bar, and extremely fast recovery speed. This allows Chenishu to not worry about battery life at all. The magic value of an ordinary mage can support the release of 3 large-scale damage spells in a copy, which is already the limit. But Chenishu, because of his almost abnormal professional characteristics, it can release range skills like Blizzard almost continuously. Wind, snow, and flames intertwined and flickered within this primitive tribe. And there were countless violent goblins who fell under Chenishu's spell. After a while, a large forest around the goblin tribe was dyed snow-white by him. Has it been cleared yet? See that the kill prompt no longer pops up in the lower right corner. Chenishu also stopped releasing Blizzard. Although there is no extra experience value reward for leapfrogging kills. But his upgrade speed is not at all slower than before. Warning! Warning! The number of violent goblin kills detected has reached 100 out of 100, the number of violent goblin troll kills is 1 to 1, and the hidden monster fire troll has appeared. The same red font as when you first entered the instance suddenly appeared in front of Chen Yishu. Hidden monster? Chen Yishu frowned and then recalled the knowledge in the book. Hidden monsters, as the name suggests, are special monsters that will not be encountered in the normal copy process. They have greater power, higher values, and more generous rewards than elite monsters. When some appear on the stage, they will even have their own area divided into the dungeon. But it is extremely difficult to encounter hidden monsters. First, some complex and special conditions need to be met in the copy. But after meeting the conditions, the hidden monster only has a 10% chance of appearing. It can be said that for those who want to unlock hidden monsters in the dungeon, luck and strength are indispensable. Chapter 8: The Violent Flame Troll. Just after the system warning ends, Chen Yishu felt the ground suddenly tremble. A roar like a volcanic eruption sounded from directly in front of him. The leaves that had been stained with white frost by Chen Yishu's snowstorm. In the sudden high-temperature environment, it became sluggish and finally turned into pieces of dead leaves slowly falling to the ground. Just when he was about to step forward to find out. For magma pillars spewed out from the ground, surrounding him. The strong and tall flame troll slowly appeared from Chen Yishu. The two fangs in its mouth are twice as long as the previous elite monster goblin troll. The dark red skin is imprinted with countless weird symbols. LV5, Violent Flame Troll. HP, 116. Attack power, 32. Defense, 37. Magic resistance, 30. Frenzy, the enemy's desire to attack increases significantly. Exclusive skills, War Roar, Magma Spray. Note: the female flame troll who was captured into the goblin village many years ago was imprisoned by the goblins in the depths of the forest. She has a strong protective mentality. Any behavior that harms the offspring of the troll will cause the flame giant to suffer. The devil's endless pursuit. Chen Yishu smiled dumbly. Not only did he hurt her heirs just now, he also directly burned the mixed-blood goblin troll into dregs. This is the younger one, and here comes the older one. This guy's attributes, even if placed in a level 5 elite copy, should be at the level of a mini-boss, right? However, he did not panic because of the appearance of the hidden monster. The appearance of hidden monsters not only means high risks. The high reward behind the high risk is what he really wants. Chen Yishu fixed his gaze. A blizzard was launched, freezing the 4 magma pillars around him into ice. But the flame troll's offensive has just begun. His eyes were filled with hatred for the tiny human in front of him. Traces of blood vessels protruded on the flame troll's neck. Ah! A hoarse, unpleasant, but extremely sharp sound came from the mouth of the flame troll. The sound caused by it even caused the fallen leaves on the ground to fly several meters away. Chen Yishu covered his ears tightly. The damage caused by the flame troll's war roar was offset to the greatest extent. At this moment, 2 more magma pillars attacked Chen Yishu. Slowness. Chen Yishu raised his hand to release the skill. But here, she also acted instantly, and saw a pillar of fire rising into the sky, igniting from under the flame troll. Wrap her completely in it. The hot and sticky liquid continued to spread and solidify on her body surface. In the end, it turned out to be a robe-shaped shell. At this time, Chen Yishu also saw that the panel of the flame troll had undergone some changes. LV5, Violent Flame Troll, Explosion Form. HP, 96. Attack power, 42. Defense, 17. Magic resistance, 40. Frenzy, the enemy's desire to attack increases significantly. Skills, War Roar, Magma Ejection. Remarks: when the flame troll senses danger, it will enter a special form, sacrificing a certain amount of defense and blood in exchange for high attack power and magic resistance. At the same time, the skill speed and movement speed will also be increased accordingly. Promote. The fire troll after entering its explosive form. The frequency of magma release is obviously much higher and faster than before. What's even more terrifying is that the fire troll's actions are not as cumbersome as before. While releasing magma spray, the flame troll in the explosive form can also move at high speed. Red shadows were constantly moving around Chen Yishu. And every attack of the flame troll is aimed at an angle that is extremely difficult for him to avoid. Finally, something interesting. Before, I almost fell asleep from boredom when I was fighting those miscellaneous fish that had no ability to fight back. Chen Yishu's eyes were full of fighting spirit. Adrenaline is also soaring at this moment. When his concentration reached its peak, he could barely capture the fast-moving figure of the flame troll. Here. Chen Yishu unusually threw the fireball in an empty direction. And that's where the flame troll is heading. Bah! Just when the fireball technique was about to come into contact with the flame troll. However, she stopped in midair with an extremely weird posture, then turned around suddenly and rushed towards Chen Yishu. The intelligence of the troll is far stronger than that of the simple-minded goblin. Chen Yishu also noticed this from the battle with the goblin troll just now. However, all this is still under his control. Humph, I took the bait. Chen Yishu raised the corners of his mouth slightly, and then suddenly stepped on the ground with his feet. Suddenly, an extremely icy cold current centered on him and spread to all sides. At the critical moment, Chen Yishu finally released the blizzard behind the fireball technique. This tactic uses oneself as bait and deliberately sells the enemy weaknesses. It is estimated that no one except him would dare to play like this. I saw that the person who was within the scope of the blizzard did not die immediately. Although the magic resistance of 50 gives it a high amount of magic damage reduction. But its blood volume is low after entering burst mode. Logically speaking, he couldn't withstand Chen Yishu's nearly 500 blizzard damage per second. However, now is not the time to think. Since the blizzard couldn't kill it, Chen Yishu naturally had other ways to send it to heaven. The movement speed of the violent flame troll is no longer as scary as before. The sudden decrease in skill speed also gave Chen Yishu some breathing space. It's not over yet, let you experience the feeling of being double slowed down. During the duration of the blizzard, Chen Yishu released the slowness technique on the violent flame troll in front of him. The moment they saw the earthy brown swamp appeared at its feet. The violent flame troll's body seemed to be still. Can't move no matter what. The troll's eyes now held fear and doubt. But I would never have imagined that the person who caused this phenomenon was the seemingly inconspicuous human being in front of me. Roar! The violent flame troll roared again unwillingly. I want to use this skill to get out of the current predicament. But Chen Yishu would never give it this chance. I saw Chen Yishu condensing the fireball technique on the spot. Throwing them towards the violent flame troll one after another. Seeing that the duration of blizzard and slowness is coming to an end. Chen Yishu is still doing this almost useless thing. There was a trace of mockery on the face of the violent flame troll, which was very humane. Chapter 9: The All-Seeing Eye. Just laugh, you won't be able to laugh anymore after a while. It is not difficult to infer from the battle just now. The shell of the raging fire troll's robe made of molten lava. Most likely it has some effect of isolating magic damage. In addition, it has 50 magic resistance when it enters burst mode. This was the first time that Chen Yishu didn't kill the monster with one hit. However, it doesn't matter anymore. Because just now, the slowness technique was activated. The mechanical sound in Chen Yishu's head sounded again. It is detected that the professional is in trouble, the forbidden spell charging has been activated, the current charging number is 21/50. Forbidden spell charge? What does this mean? Just when Chen Yishu was confused, the system gave him an answer in a timely manner. When a professional is in danger, the system will directly unlock some skills for the professional to use, and because there are 50 layers of spell charging, additional effects will be triggered when the forbidden spell is released. The skills that can be unlocked currently are Taboo Spell of Appraisal System, All-Seeing Eye, know all information and modify it. Forbidden Spell of Fire, Immortal Black Flame, burns everything, and continues to cause damage to the target. Frost Forbidden Spell, Absolute Zero, freezing effect increased by 100%, instant kill probability doubled. So that's it. In short, when you are desperate, give me a chance to make a comeback? It's just the right time. Chen Yishu took a deep breath. During the duration of the superimposed release of Blizzard and Slowness, he used Fireball to charge up the remaining 29 forbidden spells. The moment the violent flame troll resumed action, Chen Yishu also moved. Upon seeing him, he raised his hands in the opposite direction. Put your thumb against the tip of your index finger and make a gesture of taking a picture with your hand. Then, he growled in his mouth, forbidden spell. All-seeing eye. In an instant, the encounter with the violent flame troll just now appeared in Chen Yishu's field of vision again. Everything around him seemed to be at a standstill. In Chen Yishu's eyes, there was a lot more information. Fire troll, a native species originating from Lofa Forest, the legendary gods. The concentration of fire element magic power in the air reaches 32%, and the concentrations of the remaining 5 elements each account for 10%. Human. Pay for the life of my child. After filtering out a lot of useless information, Chen Yishu finally found the information he wanted. Fire lava armor. Quality, blue rare. Speed +10. Spirit +15. Characteristics, damage caused by elements is halved, probability of immunity to elemental damage. Note, everyone thinks that those idiots who know magic should wear robes. But I have to make armor for them. This is not only the dignity of a craftsman, but also contains my entire understanding of magic. The unknown troll craftsman. The all-seeing eye erases the violent flame troll's attack power, magic resistance, and equipment characteristics. Following Chen Yishu's order. In that complicated ocean of information, the 2 attributes of the flame troll gradually dimmed. Chen Yishu also felt a severe headache at this time. The duration of the forbidden spell is almost over. Closure. After finishing the all-seeing eye, Chen Yishu immediately ran into an attack from the violent flame troll. However, with an attack power of 0, no matter how fierce the attack was, it could not cause any harm to Chen Yishu. The fire troll let out a confused cry. The next second, Chen Yishu's magic value, which was drained by the forbidden spell, was quickly filled up by the professional characteristic of 100 times the recovery speed of magic power. LV Max, Fireball. Chen Yishu chanted the last fireball spell to the flame troll. Without the dual protection of magic resistance and equipment characteristics. At this time, the flame troll was like a little rabbit exposed to predators. There is no way to fight back. Ha, 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 ha. The hammer warrior knocked away the last goblin with sweat all over his head. Then he sat on the ground and began to rest. Although the other 3 were not as embarrassed as him. But the successive battles also made them somewhat exhausted physically and mentally. Master Lin, tell me, who is the Chen Yishu you have been talking about before? Lin Tian looked at him with wide eyes. Don't you know? They all awakened in the same school. Tang Hao snorted coldly. When you wake up in a school, do you have to know each other? I only care about myself. When Lin Tian heard what he said, his understanding of Tang Hao was refreshed in his heart again. This person is so arrogant and narcissistic that even he, a rich man, feels a little ashamed of himself. That's what happened. Our team was looking for a mage. Lin Tian embellished the story he had with Chen Yishu before. After Tang Hao heard this, he immediately cursed angrily, "Humph, I'm so ungrateful that I don't even give you face." At this time, Lin Tian suddenly sneered. We have now arrived at the middle level of the goblin village. We will be able to clear the level in a few hours. By then, we will probably have a piece of green quality equipment and the level has reached LV3. If we are in at the door of the dungeon, I accidentally bumped into Chen Yishu. Guess what his expression would be? Tang Hao patted his thigh and said with a smile, I guess my intestines are blue with regret. I don't care about my own weight, so I dare to refuse other people's invitations to team up with those cats and dogs. Give him a week, and he won't even do it. We must have reached LV3. Kill the violent flame troll, hidden, experience +500. Leap level kill, additional reward experience plus 100. Kill without injury, additional reward experience plus 100. Level increased to LV6. Equipment obtained, Flame Lava Armor. Attention, you have killed all the enemies in the King level Goblin Village, and the road to the boss room has been opened. Note, you have killed the Violent Goblin Troll, 1-1, and the Violent Fire Troll, 1-1. Obtained the status, Revenge of Wife and Son. When the boss Goblin Priest attacks a job changer with this status, the damage will be increased by 50%. Look at the copy information that keeps popping up in the lower right corner. Chen Yishu couldn't help but be stunned. He did not expect that the hidden monster just now, the Flame Troll, was actually the last monster left in this dungeon besides the boss. In this case, there is no point in staying in the copy. The most important thing is to kill the boss early and clear the level, and then go to a higher level dungeon to level up. However, thinking back to the scene of fighting the violent flame troll just now, Chen Yishu also felt scared for a while. At that time, he had not thought about using forbidden spells to strengthen attack spells such as Fireball and Blizzard. But just in case, he still chose to strengthen the identification skills that were almost ignored by others. Because in his mind, the concept of knowing yourself and your enemy and being victorious in any battle is still clearly engraved in his mind. However, what he didn't expect was that the power of the forbidden spell would be so terrifying. Not only will all the magic points be deducted directly, but the chanting time is also a bit lengthy compared to his full-level skills. If it weren't for the all-seeing eye's own time-pausing effect, it's really hard to tell the outcome of the battle just now. Clatter. Clatter. When Chen Yishu wasn't paying attention, the sky in the Goblin Village had become very dark. Waves of cold wind kept blowing towards him, who was wearing thin clothes. And countless red dots are constantly lighting up from the forest. The Goblin Priest wearing black animal skin was approaching Chen Yishu's position step by step. Chapter 10 Goblin Sacrifice. The true form of those little red dots in the woods. All are the eyes of a violent goblin. The violent goblins who were slaughtered by Chen Yishu before. At this time, under the call of the Goblin Priest, he crawled back from the abyss of Hades. Once again, it became an obstacle in front of Chen Yishu. LV5, Violent Goblin Sacrifice. HP, 112. Attack Power, 55. Defense, 23. Magic Resistance, 35. Frenzy, the enemy's desire to attack increases significantly. Skills, Corpse Manipulation, Magic Seal. Note, the High Priest of the Goblin tribe is also the leader of many goblins. He has the ability to control dead goblins. After destroying the Fire Troll and many goblins, it seems to have become more powerful. Some. LV5, Violent Undead Goblin. HP, 50. Attack Power, 5. Defense, 5. Magic Resistance, 5. Frenzy, the enemy's desire to attack increases significantly. Skill, Self-Destruction. Note, the body of the dead goblin was activated by the secret technique of the goblin sacrifice and became an undead soldier who was not afraid of death. At a critical moment, he could detonate himself and kill the enemy together. Through identification skills, information about the enemy in front of you is obtained. Chen Yishu couldn't help but smacked his mouth. Goblin sacrifice itself is not difficult to solve. And from a certain perspective, it is not even as difficult to fight as the explosion form of the flame troll just now. But the goblin sacrifice serves as the final boss. It's just disgusting. He can continuously summon all kinds of undead goblins to delay Chen Yishu's pace of clearing the level. Moreover, Chen Yishu now also has a negative state of revenge for killing his wife and son. Goblin Priest's damage to himself is increased by 50%. As long as it touched him a little, Chen Yishu estimated that he would have to say goodbye to this copy. Moreover, the miscellaneous fish summoned by the goblin sacrifice cannot be underestimated. Unlike when they were still alive before, these violent goblins unlocked the skill of self-destruction after they died. This shows that Chen Yishu cannot easily take away a large area with just a few skills like he did before. Otherwise, the successive explosions will make him unable to eat and walk around. What should I do? Chen Yishu lowered his head and thought. At this moment, the goblin priest suddenly let out a sharp scream. Then he pointed at Chen Yishu with a dry finger. Immediately, a large number of gray-skinned undead goblins surrounded Chen Yishu. My majestic master, how come you are surrounded by miscellaneous fishes? Slowness. To avoid detonating these bombs on the spot. Chen Yishu directly used the slowness technique to control a large number of undead goblins in front of him. But this seems to be what the goblin priest expected. I saw the goblin offering sacrifices during Chen Yishu's pause. Using the wooden stick in his hand, he thrust it hard into the ground. Then he began to chant complicated incantations. After a while, black lines like octopus tentacles appeared. From the land under Chen Yishu's feet, people filed out. And the tentacle's goal seems to be heading towards Chen Yishu. This is the tentacle of the magic seal. Chen Yishu was secretly shocked. He is a genuine mage, once the magic bar is sealed. That's no different than dying. Chen Yishu dodged left and right, trying his best to avoid the attacks of these black tentacles. The goblin priest's ugly mouth grinned with a sneer. Chen Yishu's reaction perfectly agreed with its plan. The black tentacles are just a cover-up, there are more sinister traps waiting for him behind. While Chen Yishu was trying hard to avoid those black tentacles, Lin Tian and the others have also finished cleaning up most of the middle area of the goblins. During this time of running in together, Lin Tian also gradually discovered some of the shortcomings of Tang Hao's rare profession. Although the fire mage has high attack power. But that's the only advantage. The mage's most important battery life and chanting time are both fatal weaknesses for him. Along the way, Tang Hao was a thorn in his side. Whenever he encountered a monster, he had to go first. This resulted in the pastor often having to be distracted to take care of him. This not only disrupted the priest's plan, but also caused Lin Tian and the others' overall speed to drop again and again. Tang Hao, could you please stop trying to attract monsters yourself next time? Is my magic worth the money? The pastor scolded him angrily. Tang Hao, on the other hand, seemed domineering. What? Isn't it possible? Breastfeeding is your job. It's a rare profession like mine. Others can't milk me even if they want to. The pastor felt that he and Tang Hao could not communicate at all. So he cast a look of help at Lin Tian. Lin Tian persuaded him kindly, Brother Tang Hao, please stop saying a few words. The pastor also has his own reasons. Moreover, we will fight the boss soon. At this juncture, we must not quarrel. Tang Hao stood up and replied without looking back, it's just a boss. Look, I'll kill it in seconds. You don't even need to bring a priest. Thump. While Chen Yishu was avoiding the black tentacles. However, he accidentally fell into a dug trap pit. The goblin priest let out a hoarse laugh. It seemed that it didn't even expect that its plan would succeed so easily. Sure enough, the trap must be arranged unexpectedly. Chen Yishu rubbed his sore butt, then stood up holding on to the wall. Just before he could react, 4 or 5 violent undead goblins raised their weapons and attacked him. Chen Yishu's heart immediately sounded alarm. The weapons in the hands of goblins are not scary, but the self-destruction effect they carry is scary. If they were allowed to explode in such a small space, even if Chen Yishu had 10 lives, it would not be enough to kill him. Go out first and then talk. Chen Yishu faced his body and began to release fireballs continuously. With the help of the impact of the fireball explosion, he bounced himself up. When he saw Chen Yishu's figure reappearing on the ground, the goblin priest was stunned. Its tiny brain capacity cannot understand how Chen Yishu escaped. However, under the shock of the fireball technique, Chen Yishu obviously had no intention of stopping. After turning gracefully 360 degrees in midair, Chen Yishu went directly towards the goblin to sacrifice and bumped into it. Have a good taste, the trap you designed yourself. The goblin priest couldn't dodge, and Chen Yishu actually knocked it directly into the pit. Just when Chen Yishu was about to end the battle, two trembling violent undead goblins climbed up from the edge of the trap. Chapter 11. The clown is actually himself. After Chen Yishu controlled the two violent undead goblins, then he looked down along the entrance of the cave. I saw that the goblin sacrifice seemed to have an error in the program. Keep walking in the same place. As for the undead goblins, one after another, they brushed out in front of it. Is this a programming error? Is the brain overloaded? Chen Yishu subconsciously expressed his guess. But no matter what the truth is, the current state of goblin sacrifice is definitely very different from normal. If that's the case, can I use its mobs to gain experience repeatedly? In order to verify this conjecture of mine, Chen Yishu found a safer distance. Then he released the slowness spell of the two violent undead goblins that had just climbed onto the ground. Fireball. Just when he finished speaking, a blazing fireball, with an orange flame tail, directly covered the bodies of the two monsters. Bang bang bang. 3 explosions continued to sound in front of Chen Yishu. A prompt also popped up in the lower right corner that Chen Yishu had been staring at. Experience plus 30 for killing violent undead goblin. Kill without injury, additional reward experience plus 30. Things turned out just as Chen Yishu expected. These mobs summoned by the goblin priest can not only provide him with experience points, and because it is a mob summoned by the boss, the amount of experience points is also one step higher than that of ordinary mobs in the dungeon. And just after the two violent goblins were eliminated, immediately after, 2 more crawled out of the hole. Chen Yishu quickly equipped himself with the flame lava armor he had obtained before. The skyrocketing spirit and speed values made his fireball technique more lethal. Novice copies like Goblin Village usually produce white ordinary and green advanced equipment. Blue rare quality equipment like the flame lava armor is already very rare. Even better, there are some purple precious level equipment, which can only be seen by the European Emperor among the European Emperors. Finally, there are red magical, orange epic, and colorful legendary equipment. However, these are a bit too far away from the current Chen Yishu. After a while, Chen Yishu was doing an assembly line-like upgrade operation. His level has reached level 7. At this time, Chen Yishu's panel has changed to this. Name, Chen Yishu. Level, level 7. Occupation, Forbidden Arcanist. Physique, 39. Magic power, 194. Strength, 15. Spirit, 131. Speed, 27. Equipment, flame lava armor. Combat power rating, 4 stars. Skills, Fireball, Max, Slowness, Max, Blizzard, Max, Forbidden Charge 14/50. After having the equipment, Chen Yishu's combat power evaluation has reached 4 stars. Theoretically speaking, it is already evenly matched with boss-level enemies. But the actual situation is that Chen Yishu used the goblin sacrifice as a tool to spawn monsters and played with it at his fingertips. Another thing that caught his attention was the number of forbidden charges. Previously, the identification was released on a large number of undead goblins. Logically speaking, it should be filled up in an instant. Is it possible that if the same enemy is identified, taboo charge will only take effect on one? With this thought in his mind, Chen Yishu threw another fireball. But this time, he stared closely at the forbidden charging times on the panel. He discovered that the fireball technique would not increase the number of forbidden charges the moment it was launched. Only when the fireball spell accurately hits the enemy, the forbidden charge will be +1. It's quite harsh. Chen Yishu smacked his lips helplessly. It seems that this forbidden spell can only be used as a backup method at critical moments. Just as he was about to continue harvesting the lives of the violent undead goblins, Chen Yishu suddenly discovered that new goblins no longer crawled out of the trap's hole. He frowned and walked up in confusion. I saw the goblin priest foaming at the mouth and falling to the ground with twitching limbs. The continuous summoning of undead goblins has drained the last trace of magic power from his body. At this time, it has completely lost the sense of oppression from the boss. In Chen Yishu's eyes, it was a dying prey. If that's the case, then go die. Boom! The fireball technique, with an indomitable momentum, rushed directly towards the goblin sacrifice. Its frail figure was engulfed by the sea of fire in an instant. It turned into a wisp of fly ash and dissipated in the air. Lin Tian and the others were also at a critical moment in conquering the normal difficulty goblin sacrifice. As long as the group of undead goblins in front of them are eliminated, the goblin priests will no longer be able to resist. After seeing the hope of clearing the customs, Lin Tian and the others were injured all over. His physical strength was almost exhausted. But they still worked hard and prepared to end this copy. Master Lin, I guess at this time, the man named Chen Yishu is still killing ordinary goblins on the lower level? After seeing us clearing the level so quickly, do you think he will be jealous and want to cry? Tang Hao felt that this was a sure thing. So he started talking bad about Chen Yishu again. Anyway, Chen Yishu is not here, and Tang Hao also feels inexplicably unhappy that he suddenly became Chen Yishu's substitute. Therefore, if he gets the chance, Tang Hao will harm Chen Yishu. Lin Tian also sneered at this time, that's right. Chen Yishu is an ordinary mage. I don't know what he is proud of. Even if a rare profession like ours offers him an olive branch, he dares not to agree. But just as Lin Tian finished speaking, the announcement that Chen Yishu had cleared the king-level dungeon alone and unlocked hidden achievements crossed their line of sight. Congratulations to Chen Yishu, the career changer, for clearing the king-level goblin village alone, and unlocking hidden achievements, eradicating the roots. Tang Hao was stunned for a moment, then gave up the output and started pointing at the notice in the lower right corner. A shady story. There must be a shady story here. How can Chen Yishu clear the king-level dungeon by himself without even having any teammates? I'm kidding, you're not as ridiculous as you guys. Originally, Tang Hao had already thought about how to humiliate Chen Yishu after publishing the copy, but who knew that in the end, the clown would be themselves. Master Lin. Tang Hao. Stop talking and return to your respective positions quickly. The priest reminded the two of them anxiously. Just when the two of them questioned the world's loudspeakers. The goblin priest has already launched his own offensive. Lin Tian and Tang Hao wanted to react, but it was already too late. Under the dual attack of black tentacles and undead goblins, both of them turned into a white light and were teleported out of the copy. Experience plus 500 for killing the violent goblin priest, boss. Kill without injury, additional reward experience plus 100. Level increased to LV8. Obtain rare material, goblin heart. Obtain advanced material, goblin ear. Obtain advanced material, sacrificial wrapper. Among the numerous system prompts, Chen Yishu noticed a flash of purple light. He quickly pulled the prompt up a few times. Then I found the true identity of the purple prompt. Obtain precious items, sacrificial gems. Chen Yishu opened the backpack. Check out the function of this sole precious item, the sacrificial gem. LV5, sacrificial gemstone. Items for inlay. Give weapon skills, undead goblin summoning. When the weapon holder releases a spell, there is a 50% probability of summoning an undead goblin to assist in combat. The undead goblin is present for 30 seconds. A stone for inlaying? This is a good thing, and it can also give additional skills to the inlaid weapon. It's a pity that I don't have a weapon yet. Looking at his empty hands, Chen Yishu was also a little disappointed. As a mage, he doesn't even have a decent staff. Chapter 12, Kill Huang Mao. But now is not the time to think about this. Just when Chen Yishu was checking his backpack, he found that his inventory was almost full. When I repeatedly upgraded the Necromancer Goblin, I had already dropped a lot of ordinary materials in the bag. Now that the boss has been eliminated, a bunch of new things have been added to the pack. Chen Yishu planned to go back to the city first, clean up his belongings, and then come back to continue leveling up. After sending out the copy, Chen Yishu happened to meet the disgraced Lin Tian and Tang Hao. When Lin Tian met Chen Yishu at this time, his expression became extremely complicated. Resentment and jealousy were intertwined on his face. Tang Hao, on the other hand, looked at Chen Yishu with disdain and asked, "Hey, Chen Yishu, is what was said in the announcement just now true? Have you really cleared the king-level goblin village?" Chen Yishu didn't want to talk to them. He turned around and left. At this time, Tang Hao directly grabbed his clothes. "You still want to leave without telling me clearly? I think you must be cheating." Chen Yishu turned his head with a cold face. "I advise you to keep your mouth clean. You say I cheated, what evidence do you have?" Just when the atmosphere gradually became tense, a bunch of heavily armed senior professionals surrounded the Goblin Village. "Attention, attention, Goblin Village has been exclusively occupied by the guild. Those who are still in the dungeon will come out as soon as possible, and those who are still in the dungeon will come out as soon as possible." Tang Hao glared at Chen Yishu fiercely, and then said, "Humph, you are lucky this time. Then follow Lin Tian to the entrance of the dungeon to pick up their 2 teammates who are still in the dungeon." Chen Yishu looked at his panel. The high level of LV8 and the 4-star combat power evaluation gave him huge confidence. A miscellaneous fish like Tang Hao really can't get into his eyes now. At this time, a tall and thick-set middle-aged man came over. He said to Chen Yishu impatiently, "Why are you still standing here? Why don't you leave quickly? Didn't you hear what we just said?" Chen Yishu asked curiously, "Why does a big guild like yours want to monopolize a novice copy like Goblin Village?" The middle-aged man sneered, "Since you ask that, it means you must have just transferred to another job, right? Forget it, uncle, I will teach you a lesson today. Listen up, no matter what copy it is, there is something called limited material. Things, even the Goblin Village is no exception, and the limited material produced in the Goblin Village is called a sacrificial gem, which is a kind of inlaid gem that can give skills to weapons. Therefore, in order to obtain this limited material, the guild will only hold the copy exclusively for a period of time, and then it will be open to the public after it is released. Members of the Grand Guild think highly of themselves as kings of the mountain. Chen Yishu really doesn't like him very much. But in their view, this seems to have become an unspoken rule. However, the sacrificial gem they dreamed of was already in Chen Yishu's backpack. Looking at the precious quality sacrificial gems in the bag, Chen Yishu sneered and said, "Oh? That's it, then. I wish you good luck. By the way, what's the name of your guild?" The middle-aged man immediately straightened his back and said proudly, "Listen up, boy, our guild is called Ling Yun, Top Gun Ling Yun. If you want to join in the future, remember to go to the guild management department in Jianghai City and apply specifically." Chen Yishu murmured, "Is this Ling Yun Guild? I remember it." Then, he walked towards the city without looking back. After returning to the city, Chen Yishu felt an unprecedented peace of mind. "I hadn't discovered it before when I was in school." Now that he has truly experienced the training of the dungeon, Chen Yishu feels that there is nothing better than a solid and orderly city. It can bring people more sense of security. After disposing of the garbage on your body at the recycling bin, Chen Yishu is preparing to return to the wild dungeon area again. Although the Goblin Village has been occupied by Ling Yun Guild, but Chen Yishu can choose to fight monsters and level up in the wild, or he can choose to challenge the higher-level wild boar forest. Taking advantage of the fact that there was still some time today, Chen Yishu thought that he could upgrade to level 2 or so, barely finishing. At this time, 3 sneaky figures quietly followed Chen Yishu from behind. A delinquent young man with yellow hair, LV12, asked, "Boss, are you really sure that this kid is rich? Why can't I see it?" Another chubby subordinate, LV13, scolded, "Stupid. Since the boss has targeted him, it means that this kid must be a fat sheep. How can I let you see it?" At this time, the one-eyed dragon boss, LV15, wearing an eye patch on his left eye scolded, "Keep your voice down, do you want to be discovered?" Huang Mao and Fatty immediately covered their mouths. After observing for a while, the one-eyed dragon gave his own judgment. He must be a newcomer who has just transferred. I don't know where he got so many materials. However, he was very unlucky today when he encountered our 3 thieves brothers. He stopped him at the corner in front of him. The three of them discussed the countermeasures and then went to their respective places to wait. The three thieves' brothers have been doing this for a while. Although it is not very honorable to say that you are robbing newcomers who have changed jobs. But it's better than stability. If three people take action together, the winning rate can reach almost 100%. Moreover, there are very few newcomers who are lucky. For example, the day before yesterday, Cyclops looted a level 10 skill book from a newcomer. But he was not in a hurry to use it, but planned to keep it and go back to the exchange to sell it for money. From just now, Chenishu could sense that there were eyes staring at him. As smart as he is, he already knew that he was being targeted by bad guys. When reaching the corner of the road, he said coldly, "Stop hiding, I have already seen you." One-Eyed Dragon, Huang Mao and Fatty all walked out of the shadows. Huang Mao laughed sadly. "Boy, you are quite sharp. Hurry up and hand over all the money you have. In this case, my brothers can spare your life. Otherwise." With that said, Huang Mao took out the dagger and licked it with his tongue. That look was obviously threatening Chenishu. Chenishu sneered, and then said, "I can give it, but you must also have the ability to get it." Boom! A high-heat fireball quickly ignited in front of him and shot straight towards Huang Mao. Huang Mao couldn't dodge, so he could only catch the attack forcefully. It's just a fireball technique, how powerful can it be? Just when Huang Mao was thinking this, Chenishu's full-level fireball skill burned Huang Mao's armor clean in an instant. Fireball hit, critical hit. Caused 90-60 damage. Huang Mao's physique is over 50 points, but he can't withstand Chenishu's fireball damage of up to 9060 after a critical hit. It was this moment of contempt that cost him his life. The fat man shouted in panic, "Boss, something's not right, there's something fishy about this guy's fireball technique." The One-Eyed Dragon also saw the difference between Chenishu's fireball technique and ordinary people. He and Fatty quickly released the thieves' stealth skills and disappeared from Chenishu's sight. "Fat man, please do an appraisal to see what attributes this kid has." The fat man heard what he was told and did as he was told, but after a while, he covered his eyes and shouted, "Boss, no way. This kid seems to have anti-appraisal props on him, and my appraisal skills bounced back." Chapter 13 Elemental Armor and Slime Staff. Humph, how can a boy who has just changed his job afford such high-end goods? I think some big guild has probably given him an unofficial appointment, so he is given so many good things for self-defense. As he said that, the One-Eyed Dragon showed the fat man the record of the battle just now. The fat man just glanced at it and covered his mouth in fear. "No. It can't be, boss, a fireball spell actually caused more than 9000 damage to Huang Mao. Is this something a human can do?" The One-Eyed Dragon sneered and said disdainfully, "Ah, I didn't believe it at first, but now combined with your statement, I have a rough guess." The big guild behind this kid not only gave him tools to counter-identify, but also gave him he got the skill scroll imprinted by his senior mage for self-defense. That's why he was able to kill Huang Mao at once. But in fact, Chenishu does not have any anti-identification tools. Not to mention not being appointed by any major guild. Chenishu discovered that he could transcend levels and easily see through the faces of people whose level was higher than his own. But the other party seemed unable to see through him. After thinking about it, he could only attribute this to the weird mechanical sound in his head. After all, the same thing as this system can change his career. Isn't it easy to counter someone else's mere identification technique? The fat man was trembling all over now. When he thought of his best brother, who had just died tragically under the fireball technique, he felt that he was not far from death. The One-Eyed Dragon saw his spineless appearance. "I kicked him directly on his thick A****. You timid waste. You can't use your brain to think about it. There must be very few high-level scrolls like this. The boy used one just to deal with Huang Mao, and there will definitely not be many left on him. No, he even said that it is gone. He is the one who should panic. Why are you panicking?" When the fat man heard what his boss said, he felt a little more confident. Boss, I'm either afraid or, just a little weak. The one-eyed dragon paid no attention to the fat man. Prepare to observe Chen Yishu's every move to see if he has any unexpected trump cards. But Chen Yishu just stood there from beginning to end without making any movement. The one-eyed dragon muttered, "Is this kid so frightened that he is stunned?" But little did they know that when Cyclops and the others were observing Chen Yishu, Chen Yishu's forbidden spell charge has reached full capacity again. Without hesitation, he activated his all-seeing eye and revealed the locations of the fat man and the one-eyed dragon. Afterwards, Chen Yishu slowly checked the two people's panels. Name, One-Eyed Dragon. Level 15. Occupation, Thief. Physique, 52. Magic Power, 33. Strength, 17. Spirit, 15. Speed, 86. Equipment, Thief's Waistcoat. Combat Power Rating, 7 stars. Skills, Stealth LV5, Backstab LV3, Poison LV3, Lockpicking LV5. Inventory, LV10 Elemental Armor, Skill Book, Slime Staff. Name, Fatty. Level 13. Occupation, Thief. Physique, 50. Magic Power, 31. Strength, 15. Spirit, 13. Speed, 81. Equipment, Thief's Waistcoat. Combat Power Rating, 6 stars. Skills, Stealth LV4, Backstab LV3, Lockpicking LV4. Inventory, Dashya Coin X5000, Goblin Ear X86, Goblin Bone Broken X61. Just looking at the panel, Chen Yishu felt that these two people were no different from ordinary professional thieves. But it can be known from the conversation between the two that they must have done this kind of robbery more than once or twice. The really good things are all kept in the backpack of their boss, Cyclops. After finalizing the battle plan, Chen Yishu pretended to be panicked and shouted into the air, I tell you. I am an appointed member of Lingyun Guild. If you dare to touch me, you will not end well. After hearing what Chen Yishu said, the one-eyed dragon and the fat man finally felt relieved. The fat man was still shouting excitedly in the dark, "Boss! Did you hear it? He is really the newcomer designated by the Grand Guild." The one-eyed dragon smiled softly. "Humph, there's no way you can hide this bit of information from me. Fatty, I'll go to the left in a while, and you go to the right. We'll attack from both sides, and I'll make sure this kid dies without knowing how." "Okay, boss." The fat man nodded excitedly. At this time, he seemed to have seen a large amount of treasure waving to him. The haze and horror of Huang Mao's death had long been forgotten by him. But just when the two thieves were about to take action, suddenly, I found that my body seemed to be filled with lead, becoming extremely heavy and sluggish. The one-eyed dragon immediately shouted, "No, this guy found us, and he used the slowness technique on us." The fat man was so anxious that he almost cried. "Boss, isn't this a slow spell? I've seen mages use slow spells, but the slowing effect isn't that strong at all." At this time, Chen Yishu slowly approached the two of them. He also heard what the fat man said and sneered, "Of course this is different from the slowness spells you see from ordinary mages. After all, this is a full-level slowness spell." "What? Full-level slowness?" The fat man was so frightened that he immediately released his invisibility. His puzzled eyes were unwilling to leave Chen Yishu's body for a moment. The one-eyed dragon also lost its invisibility at this time. Now that he has been controlled by Chen Yishu, it means that there is little point in remaining invisible. He asked with a cold face, "Slowness, as an early field control skill, is generally abandoned by senior mages in the later stages. Even if someone from the guild gives you a rubbing skill scroll, you will not choose this useless skill." "Who are you?" Chen Yishu sneered, and then said, "You have all misunderstood. I am not actually a mage. My profession is a forbidden arcanist." Boom! As soon as Chen Yishu finished speaking, two hot and fierce fireballs appeared, like the flames from hell. Directly burn the bodies of the one-eyed dragon and the fat man. It is estimated that even before they died, they could not understand that 3 of their 10-level professionals would be wiped out by a newcomer who had just transferred to another profession. There is also the forbidden arcanist profession. One-eyed dragon has never heard of it. Chen Yishu hummed a little tune, then stepped forward and began to inspect his trophies. Only some money and less important materials were found on Huang Mao and Fatty. Only in the one-eyed dragon's backpack did Chen Yishu find something he could see through. Skill book, Elemental Armor. Quality, Green Premium. Introduction. After use, you can learn the skill Elemental Armor, LV1. Elemental Armor, LV1, has a singing time of 10 seconds, a duration of 300 seconds, and consumes 100 magic points. Active effect, create a magic barrier covering the whole body, absorbing mental x15 magic damage. Passive effect, reduce the elemental damage received by 30%, and the probability of negative states such as burning and freezing taking effect on yourself is halved. Learning restrictions, all professions, LV10 or above. Weapon, Slime Staff. Quality, Green Premium. Mosaic Hole, 0 to 1. Spirit plus 10. Magic Power plus 20. Characteristics, when releasing a spell, there is a 50% chance of summoning a split slime to fight for you. Note, no one knows where these green slugs come from, some say they come from other planets. Joke, these little guys can't even fly. Famous explorer Ezra Al. Chapter 14. Antyun and Su Miao. After taking care of these 3 thieves, Chen Yishu planned to go home. Because it was getting dark at this time. Wandering around in the wild at night is not a choice that smart people should make. Moreover, the 2 trophies that I got can basically be used until level 10. Anyway, it's time to go home today. Just when he turned around, Lin Tian and his group happened to appear in front of him again. However, after seeing the loudspeaker announcement just now, the remaining priests and hammer warriors looked at Chen Yishu with different eyes. Becoming a little scared and a little curious. Tang Hao wanted to challenge him, but Chen Yishu glared back at him. Wait a moment. Lin Tian saw that Chen Yishu was about to leave and quickly called him to stop. Chen Yishu turned his head indifferently. Is something wrong? Lin Tian held it in for a while and then said, "What treasure are you hiding? You can actually clear the king-level dungeon by yourself and unlock hidden achievements? Oh, baby? Where can there be such a thing? And even if there is, why should I tell you?" After Chen Yishu finished speaking, he left without looking back. Lin Qian's face turned red. I'm so crazy about him. Let me tell you, there is definitely something fishy about this kid. If you don't believe me, let's just wait and see. After saying that, Lin Tian led the priest and the hammer warrior towards his home. Tang Hao was the only one, staring blankly at Chen Yishu's back, wondering what he was thinking. After returning home, Chen Yishu took inventory of the contents of his bag. I checked my panel carefully to make sure there was nothing missing. Name, Chen Yishu. Level 8. Occupation, Forbidden Arcanist. Physique, 40. Magic Power, 224. Strength, 16. Spirit, 151. Speed, 28. Equipment, Flame Lava Armor. Combat Power Rating, 5 stars. Skills, Fireball, Max, Slowness, Max, Blizzard, Max, Forbidden Charge 23/50. Inventory, Skill Book, Elemental Armor, Slime Staff, Sacrificial Gem. Anyway, being idle is idle. Chen Yishu simply set the sacrificial gemstone on the slime staff. In this way, when you cast a spell, the slime staff has a 50% probability of summoning 2 kinds of mobs to assist you in combat. For other professions this may not matter. But for a profession like the mage that requires standing output, 2 more cannon fodders can help attract hatred. That's the best thing. It can be said that if you can get this stick earlier, then when dealing with goblin trolls, Chen Yishu doesn't have to face a dilemma. He directly summoned a mob to carry him behind his back, while he went in to confront the goblin troll head-on. Gulu, Gulu. On the way to sorting out Chen Yishu's stomach suddenly began to growl. It's no wonder that since changing jobs, he has plunged into the dungeon and started leveling up. I didn't eat anything decent all day long. After the tense nerves are relieved at this time. My stomach also made its own protest. Just when Chen Yishu was planning to eat something casually to cope with it, there was a gentle knock on his door. Xiao Chen. You haven't eaten yet? Aunt Yun made potato stew today. Do you want to come to my house to try it? Potato stew. As soon as he heard these 4 words, Chen Yishu's mouth started to drool. Potato stew is one of Aunt Yun's specialties. It is also Chen Yishu's favorite food. In the past 3 years since time traveled, he has not had any relatives around him. Only his neighbor Su Yun has been helping him intentionally or unintentionally. As an unemployed person, Su Yun still has no husband. He could only raise his daughter Su Miao alone. She is only in her 30s this year, and some wrinkles have already appeared in the corners of her eyes. The hands that were originally delicate have now become a lot rougher. But even with its many flaws, it's still hard to conceal Aunt Yun's unique charm of a young woman. Chen Yishu sometimes couldn't help but think about such a beautiful, gentle and virtuous woman. How nice it would be if it was one of your own relatives. But after careful consideration, Chen Yishu still planned to refuse Aunt Yun's invitation. After all, he has now become a professional and can take care of himself. I feel a little embarrassed if I bother you anymore. At this time, Su Yun outside the door seemed to have guessed what he was going to say, so he said first, Xiao Chen, I know what you want to say, but even if you become a professional, you won't get hurt if you go to a neighbor's house to have a meal. You are just gossiping, not to mention, Aunt Yun has good news to tell you today. Since you have said so, Aunt Yun, then I would rather be respectful than obey. Chen Yishu opened the door and walked out openly. Su Yun's face was full of smiles and tenderness. You kid, the more you grow up, the more alienated you are from Aunt Yun. Chen Yishu scratched his head and didn't know how to answer. At this time, Aunt Yun's daughter Su Miao walked out of the room. Su Miao and Chen Yishu have been childhood sweethearts since childhood. Although Chen Yishu and Su Miao have only known each other for 3 years. But in my memory, the two did know each other since childhood. Seeing Su Miao, who has now become an iconic slender beauty, Chen Yishu couldn't help but sigh in his heart. Oh, what a transformation of a woman. She was so cute when she was chubby before. Okay mom, brother Yishu is already thin-skinned, so stop teasing him. Xiao Miao, why did you come out? Didn't I ask you to wait in the room? Su Miao held her forehead, looking helpless. If I don't come out, will I see you two continuing to waste time here? The food is almost cold. So, Chen Yishu followed the kind-hearted mother and daughter and spent a pleasant dinner time. After drinking and eating, Su Yun suddenly sat up straight and said to Chen Yishu, Xiao Chen, you don't know yet, Xiao Miao has awakened a rare profession, the water healer. Chen Yishu immediately turned his attention to Su Miao and asked seriously, is what Aunt Yun said true? Although the two are neighbors, they don't go to the same school. Therefore, Chen Yishu really didn't know what profession Su Miao had awakened. I saw Su Miao being questioned by Chen Yishu. Her expression became a little coy, a little shy, and had a girl's unique sense of playfulness. Of course it's true, my mother can still lie to you. Congratulations. Chen Yishu expressed his blessing sincerely. In his opinion, Su Miao's ability to awaken a rare profession must be a happy event for their single-parent family, which depends on each other. At this time, Su Yun suddenly took Chen Yishu's hand and said seriously, Xiao Chen, my aunt called you here today because there is actually one more thing. Chen Yishu already had some guesses in his mind, so he said, Aunt Yun, tell me, what's the matter? Su Yun cleared his throat, and then said, actually, I want you to team up with Xiao Miao and level up together. Aunt Yun can't trust the other people. And we have been neighbors before. What kind of person are you? Aunt Yun is very I understand, so Aunt Yun can rest assured when I leave Xiao Miao to you, Xiao Chen. Chapter 15 The Quiet Place. Mom, we are just forming a team, we are not asking you to marry me off. Can you please stop saying things so misleadingly? Su Miao explained with a red face. But Aunt Yun seemed not to listen to her daughter's excuse at all. Her eyes were fixed on Chen Yishu. She seemed to be looking forward to his next answer. Of course I agree, Aunt Yun. After all, I have just changed jobs. If Xiao Miao doesn't dislike it, I can team up with her. Very good. Su Yun directly hugged Chen Yishu into his arms. Su Miao's face turned even redder. Mom, what are you doing? Pay attention to the impact. Su Yun ignored it and continued to hug Chen Yishu intimately. Until the end, Chen Yishu didn't know how he got back to his room. Early the next morning, Chen Yishu and Su Miao got ready and headed to a nearby dungeon area. By the way, Xiao Miao, what level are you at now? On the way, Chen Yishu asked Su Miao casually. After all, only by clearing dungeons of corresponding levels can you gain experience the fastest. After hearing this, Su Miao showed her screen to Chen Yishu without hesitation. Yesterday, my high-level classmates took me through the dungeon for a while, and now I'm at level 5. Chen Yishu nodded. From an ordinary person's perspective, Su Miao's upgrade speed was already relatively fast. But for the time being, it is still within the scope of ordinary people. There is no second upgraded monster like Chen Yishu in the entire Jianghai. Because no matter what profession the experience bar is, every time you advance to a level, the experience required will increase exponentially. This is why Chen Yishu fought behind the king-level goblin village. Although the experience given to him has increased, Chen Yishu's upgrade speed is still about the same as before. This is one of the reasons. At this time, Su Miao said to Chen Yishu, "Brother Yishu, I heard from my high-level classmates that there is a large dungeon nearby and the upgrade speed is quite fast. Should we go and have a look?" Chen Yishu was also struggling with where to take Su Miao to kill monsters. Now that Su Miao had proposed a solution herself, Chen Yishu had no reason to refuse. He simply agreed to Su Miao's proposal. Large dungeon, quiet place. Number of players simultaneously, 1 to 100 people. Monsters appear, zombies, enhanced zombies, biological chimeras. Remarks: hundreds of years ago, a strange plague spread here. Those infected would turn into half-alive and half-dead monsters. Since after the plague, there was no more noise coming from this place, so it is called Silence Land. Looking at the eerie entrance to the dungeon in front of him. And that terrifying dungeon introduction. Su Miao had already begun to retreat in her heart. Brother Yishu. How about we change places? This place seems quite scary. But Chen Yishu seemed a little excited. No, Xiao Miao, this is it. The reason why he said this is because this dungeon can accommodate up to 100 people entering at the same time. Chen Yishu didn't care whether 100 people would actually enter. What he cares about is that in this large dungeon with 100 people, there will definitely be a lot of mobs in it. I had felt before that the number of mobs in the goblin village was really not enough to fill the gap between my teeth. Now there is such a large copy of a quiet place. How could Chen Yishu miss this opportunity? Just when he was gearing up to take Su Miao into the quiet place to show off his skills. A group of young people wearing well-equipped equipment came near the two of them. Su Miao, what a coincidence, you also come to the quiet place to practice leveling? One of them wore earrings and looked like the leader of the group. He smiled brightly at Su Miao. Su Miao politely replied, "Senior Qin, what a coincidence. But I didn't come alone today, but brought Brother Yishu with me." Brother Yishu? Hearing Su Miao describe the man next to her like this. Senior Qin immediately cast a hostile look at Chen Yishu. Chen Yishu didn't take it seriously. Senior Qin suffered a secret loss and suddenly felt a little unhappy. He said to Su Miao, how inefficient it is for two people to upgrade. Why don't you join our team and I will take you to upgrade together? This way, it will be fast and safe. Su Miao said in surprise, "Really, Senior Qin, thank you so much." However, when Su Miao entered Senior Qin's team, Senior Qin, however, has been reluctant to send an invitation to Chen Yishu to form a team. Su Miao became a little anxious and immediately asked, "Senior Qin, where are Brother Yishu?" He is with me, you have to team him up too. Su Miao and Chen Yishu learned about each other's careers while having dinner last night. When I heard that Chen Yishu still hasn't formed a team, she thought it was because others disliked the mage for being too weak in the early stage. Therefore, he looked down upon Chen Yishu. Even she herself was led astray by what others said. Su Miao subconsciously felt that Chen Yishu's current initial stage was the master's period of weakness. In other words, Chen Yishu is very weak now. Therefore, as Chen Yishu's childhood sweetheart and good neighbor, she had to help Chen Yishu no matter what. Senior Qin sneered and walked to Chen Yishu. He pretended to say, "I'm sorry, I forgot about you. Brother, would you mind telling me what your profession is and what your level is?" Chen Yishu had long been aware of Senior Qin's conspiracy. It's just that because Su Miao is still there, he can't take action directly. Mage, in terms of level, it's about the same as Xiao Miao. Oh. Does that mean he's a level 5 crispy little mage? I'm so sorry. We don't need an unformed waste like you in our team. You can find a team yourself. Let's go. Got it. After saying that, he shook his head and prepared to take Su Miao down to the copy. At this time, Su Miao withdrew from Senior Qin's team with a cold face. Su Miao, what are you doing? Senior Qin suddenly panicked. He was originally here for Su Miao today. If Su Miao ran away now, wouldn't all his previous efforts be wasted? Su Miao said coldly, "No need, Senior Qin, Brother Yishu and I can level up together. We can't afford a team as good as yours." No matter how stupid Mr. Qin is at this time, he can still hear the implication of Su Miao's words. He said fiercely, "Okay. You have the guts. If you are chased by monsters in the dungeon, don't blame us for not saving you." After saying that, Senior Qin waved his hand and led his subordinates directly into the gate of the Silent Land. "Brother Yishu, I'm sorry for causing you trouble." Su Miao lowered her head and apologized to Chen Yishu. She felt that if it weren't for herself, Chen Yishu would not have suffered such an unreasonable disaster. Chen Yishu gently touched Su Miao's head. Then he said, "It's okay. I can't blame you. It's all the fault of Senior Qin. Okay, let's advance to the dungeon. Only when we become stronger can we no longer be bullied by others." Su Miao nodded heavily. Then he and Chen Yishu entered the large dungeon, the Land of Silence, in tandem. The sky was red as if it was dripping blood. The ground was dry, dark, and filled with a black flock. Lifeless can be said to be a word that perfectly sums up the current situation. This was Chen Yishu's first impression after entering the quiet place. Chapter 16: The Mysterious Master. "Brother Yishu, let's level up on the outside for a while. I heard that the further you go in, the more powerful the monsters will be." Su Miao pointed to the depths of the Silent Land and said. Chen Yishu also roughly judged the difficulty of this copy through appraisal skills. On the whole, it's similar to what Su Miao said. The periphery is relatively safer. "Okay, Xiao Miao, I'll do as you say." The two then took out their weapons and prepared for the coming battle. "By the way, Brother Yishu, I forgot to ask before. I heard from students in your school that you caused a class-changing phenomenon when you changed classes. Are you really just an ordinary mage?" Facing Su Miao's question, Chen Yishu seemed a little confused. He is a forbidden arcanist who may be the only profession. But the secret of being a time traveler is even more important. But in the past 3 years, Antyun and Su Miao have also taken good care of themselves. Of course Chen Yishu also knew that Su Miao was just out of curiosity and had no malicious intentions. After hesitating for a while, Chen Yishu decided to show her his panel. But at this moment, a burst of exclamation came from the side of the two people. "Damn it! How could there be such a monster here? Run quickly. If you don't run, it will be too late. Oh my God! I told you that you shouldn't have come here. We are all going to die now." The exclamation seemed to come from members of the same team. Because after a while, Chen Yishu and Su Miao heard some rapid footsteps approaching their position. Xiao Miao, stand behind me quickly. The job changers who are being chased by monsters will become disowned, and maybe they will also attack us. Su Miao obediently hid behind Chen Yishu. At this time, the two also saw the career changers who were being chased by monsters. Should it be said to be a trick of fate or an unclear fate? Those being chased by monsters were none other than Senior Qin's team who had mocked Chen Yishu at the entrance of the dungeon. At this time, Senior Qin also saw two job transferees standing in front of where he was escaping. At this time, he also wanted to remind the two of them to run away quickly. However, when he saw Chen Yishu's face, Senior Qin changed his mind. He told the others with a cold face, "In a moment, let's rush directly to the suspension bridge in front. After crossing the bridge, we will destroy the way back. In this way, the monster will not be able to catch up." At this time, a girl in Senior Qin's team said unbearably, "Senior Qin, this is not good. Su Miao and that boy are also near the suspension bridge. We destroyed the suspension bridge. What do you want them to do?" Senior Qin glared at her fiercely, and then said, "Are you stupid? We have to let them be used as bait so that we can escape smoothly. The monsters in the Quiet Land are different from the monsters in other copies. Once they smell human flesh, the aroma is so delicious that you won't be able to let it go until you taste it in your mouth." The girl was so lectured by Senior Qin that she did not dare to continue talking. At this time, a large group of people also hurriedly passed by Chen Yishu and Su Miao. Chen Yishu watched Senior Qin and the others pass by with vigilance. When Senior Qin passed by Chen Yishu, he clearly heard Senior Qin say, "Humph. Just wait until you die. That's the threat." Chen Yishu was directly aware of Senior Qin's plan. At this time, he looked at Senior Qin and his group, and then at the direction they were heading. A sneer rose directly from the corner of his mouth. "Humph, you want us to be used as bait to dream." Boom! A slightly dazzling super fireball technique continued to rise above Chen Yishu's head. Finally, with a terrifying momentum, it passed directly over the heads of Senior Qin and the others. It hit the suspension bridge not far away. Senior Qin and the others were only a few steps away from the suspension bridge. But he didn't expect that this hope of life would be completely interrupted by the fireball technique shot out of nowhere. Senior Qin beat the ground angrily and cursed, "Who doesn't have eyes to shoot fireballs on the suspension bridge? Don't you want to live? Come out. I want to challenge you." At this time, the girl who spoke before tugged at the corner of Senior Qin's clothes and whispered, "Senior Qin, I seem to have seen it just now." It was the fireball technique fired by the boy who was with Su Miao. Senior Qin looked at the girls in surprise, and then looked in the direction of Su Miao and the others. Then, he waved his hand and said, "It's impossible, it's impossible. Let's not mention that he is just a little miscellaneous fish mage around level 5. He can't keep up with the singing speed. Moreover, with such a large fireball technique, I have never been able to do it in my life. I haven't seen it before. It's obvious that some master passing by is deliberately trying to mess with us." The more Senior Qin thought about it, the more reasonable it became. He had heard people from Lingyun Guild complain before. It's time to get limited materials. But their guild occupied that dungeon for a day, but they didn't produce the so-called limited materials. Some people within Lingyun Guild began to speculate. Is there a mysterious master who took away the limited materials in advance? Rub. Just when Senior Qin was still immersed in his own delusions. There was a flash of white light, and Chen Yishu's level actually climbed up again, reaching LV9. Su Miao said with envy, "Brother Yishu, you leveled up so quickly. Not long after the two of us came in, you leveled up again." Chen Yishu didn't reply, but used the slowness technique and the blizzard to harvest the lives of the surrounding zombies in waves. He looked at the monster panel chasing Senior Qin in the distance, and then looked at his own. An ominous premonition kept rising from his heart. Name, Chen Yishu. Level 9. Occupation, Forbidden Arcanist. Physique, 41. Magic Power, 234. Strength, 17. Spirit, 161. Speed, 29. Equipment, Flame Lava Armor. Combat Power Rating, 5 stars. Skills, Fireball, Max, Slowness, Max, Blizzard, Max, Forbidden Charge 39/50. Inventory, Skill Book, Elemental Armor, Slime Staff, Sacrificial Gem. LV-12, Biological Chimera, Elite. HP, 300. Attack Power, 102. Defense, 145. Magic Resistance, 35. Resurrection, the enemy has multiple lives. Skills, Scratching, Dark Sight, Dark Embrace. Remarks, for a monster composed of countless corpses, conventional attacks have almost no effect on it. Moreover, after death, it can be reborn through reorganization. Chen Yishu frowned. It is different from the novice copy like Goblin Village. This is an elite monster in a large multiplayer dungeon. The level of trouble was even higher than what Chen Yishu encountered before. Chapter 17 Death Sight. Brother Yishu, aren't we going to run? Su Miao also noticed the approach of the biological chimera at this time. But when he saw Chen Yishu still slowly killing monsters with him on the spot, she was a little confused. At this time, Senior Qin and his group were almost forced to jump off the cliff to survive. Obviously, anyone who has actually fought a biological chimera face to face has a deep understanding of its power and terror. You don't have to run. What's more, you can't run away even if you want to. That's a LV-12 monster, and it moves much faster than us. Chen Yishu answered Su Miao's questions without raising his head. In his opinion, the only way he could protect Su Miao's safety in the upcoming fierce battle was to reach level 10 as soon as possible. When Su Miao saw this, she stopped talking. She believed that her brother Yishu would definitely be able to solve the problem at hand. Although there was no reason, she just felt that way. Hey! Are you crazy? Are you still leveling up at this time? Neither the appraisal skill nor the lower right corner reminds you that a level 12 elite monster is approaching. Senior Qin shouted at Chen Yishu and the others. In his opinion, these two people were simply crazy. The level 12 dungeon elite monster is rushing towards this side. And that boy who looked dumbfounded was still immersed in brushing mobs. It seemed that they didn't care about what happened to their group at all. Senior Qin, stop talking. I think they will be the first to die soon. If we do this for a while, maybe we can increase our chances of survival. The boy who gave Senior Qin advice had ugly triangular eyes. Anyone who is targeted by him will feel uncomfortable. At this time, after Senior Qin heard the plan of Triangle Eye, he also showed a sneer. The plan is good. If it succeeds, not only can we escape smoothly, but one more water healer can join the team. By then, Senior Qin did not continue. Because at this time, the disgusting appearance of the biological chimera has appeared in front of everyone. Come, come. The girls in Senior Qin's team were so frightened that they collapsed on the ground. This kind of replica monster is made of human limbs mixed with dirty blood. The most frightening thing. Even boys feel a little frightened when faced with this scene. Su Miao's heart was already in her throat at this time. He and Chen Yishu are closest to biological chimeras. Therefore, Su Miao can also clearly feel the strong sense of oppression emanating from the level 12 monster. Brother Yishu, what should we do? Su Miao already felt a sense of despair in her heart. She really couldn't figure it out, just relying on the two of them, who were not even level 10. How to fight against the level 12 behemoth in front of you. At this time, Chen Yishu's expression suddenly changed and he calmly ordered Su Miao, Xiao Miao, use your interference skill water mist on me. Make sure my figure is completely covered by the skill. Good. Su Miao had no doubt that he was there. Quickly follow Chen Yishu's instructions. Water mist skill is one of the unique skills of water healers. You can use mist to hide yourself or your target. It's somewhat similar to a thief's invisibility. Most water healers use it to save their lives. There are only people like Chen Yishu who don't take the ordinary path. Only then would water mist be used as a means of attack. At this time, the biological chimera also moved. Its messy limbs suddenly combined into a slender whip and was thrown towards Chen Yishu and Su Miao. Su Miao closed her eyes subconsciously. She felt that this time, she would definitely have to explain herself here. Boom! A sound of gold and iron clashing sounded from in front of her. Su Miao's ears were deafened because of the close distance. But she slowly opened her eyes. However, the scene in front of her made her feel a little unbelievable. Under the influence of his own water mist skills, a blurry black figure was standing in front of her. Su Miao felt that this figure was slightly familiar, but because she could not see clearly, she did not dare to call Chen Yishu's name. At this time, the black figure suddenly moved. I saw him raising the stick-like object in his hand. A huge fireball with soaring momentum suddenly lit up in front of him. Boom! The fireball technique rushed straight towards the biological chimera with an indomitable momentum. At the same time, Su Miao also discovered that there were two monsters that should not exist in this copy. Appeared together with the bombardment of fireball. They are undead goblins with dark skin and blue Hades fire in their eyes. And the monster that looks like a combination of green glue, slime. Caught up. Chen Yishu breathed a sigh of relief. His panel at the moment has become. Name, Chen Yishu. Level 10. Occupation, Forbidden Arcanist. Physique, 42. Magic power, 244. Power, 18. Spirit, 171. Speed, 30. Equipment, Flame Lava Armor, Slime Staff, Sacrificial Gem. Combat Power Rating, 5 stars. Skills, Fireball, Max, Slowness, Max, Blizzard, Max, Elemental Armor, Max, Taboo Charge 45/50. That's right, the moment he reached level 10, Chen Yishu equipped his body with a slime staff inlaid with sacrificial gems. At the same time, he also directly learned the skill book, Elemental Armor. In order to deal with this difficult enemy, Chen Yishu must use all his strength to deal with it. The biological chimera noticed that his physical attack was blocked. There was also a trace of doubt on its ugly face. Immediately afterwards, a big fireball shot towards its face. The biological chimera couldn't dodge and was blown up all over its face. Although it is a dead spirit, it does not feel pain. But Chen Yishu's tentative fireball obviously aroused his strong anger. Die, die, die. The threat of death emanated from the rotten throat of the biological chimera. Then his body shape suddenly changed. The limbs wrapped around its body suddenly contracted tightly. At the same time, the biological chimera's mouth opened wide at an extremely unreasonable angle. The black and purple energy is constantly condensing and gathering in it. Obviously, it is going to hold back its ultimate move. Xiao Miao, stay away. Chen Yishu also knew that this move was not good. So he quickly reminded Su Miao to escape. Su Miao stood there blankly at this time, unable to react for a moment. At this time, some people in Senior Qin's team had begun to badmouth him. It's over, it's over. The death sight of the biological chimera is known as the ultimate move of professional killers. Even professions that specialize in defense dare not take this attack forcefully. And this move is not only fast, but also has a wide range. It even has dark attributes. Unless it can build a pure wall of elemental energy, otherwise, all of us will die. Just when they are still lamenting their misfortune. The biological chimera has already launched its own killer weapon. Black light, wrapped in the aura of death, rushed towards Su Miao. Chapter 18 The Immortal Black Flame. Xiao Miao. Chen Yishu rushed to Su Miao's position desperately at this time. And he used his body to block this fatal blow for her. Brother Yishu. At this time, Su Miao finally recovered from her fear. But even so, she was already too late. The black light has swallowed Chen Yishu whole. Not even half a shadow can be seen. Brother Yishu. Hot tears instantly fell from the corners of Su Miao's eyes. She began to blame herself constantly. If I hadn't been so frightened that you wouldn't have rushed to save me. If it hadn't been for me. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Brother Ishu. Su Miao slumped on the ground, guilt gradually filling her heart. She never imagined that Brother Ishu, the neighbor she had grown up playing with, would die in front of her like this. At this time, the one with triangular eyes in Senior Chin's team sneered, "How about it, Senior? I said that as long as Su Miao is immobilized, the boy will definitely go up and rescue her. Look, doesn't this come true?" Senior Chin said unbearably, "There's no need to go to this point. We're just making a copy." "But who knows," Triangle Eyes said disdainfully, "Senior, sometimes you have to be a little ruthless. Since we did something like this today, we will definitely be hated by them. In the future, we can't guarantee that the man named Chen Ishu will stab us in the back. I am just doing this for safety reasons." Senior Chin stopped talking, because even he had to admit that what the Triangle Eyes said did make some sense. However, the situation at the scene seemed a bit strange. The biological chimera stopped moving after shooting the death ray just now. The entire monster seemed to be petrified, firmly nailed in place. At this time, Senior Chin suddenly tightened his clothes and asked, "Hey, is it my imagination? The temperature seems to be lower?" "It's not your imagination, it's because I released a blizzard, and it's natural that the temperature should be low." Chen Ishu's voice suddenly came from midair. Senior Chin subconsciously looked up. I saw Chen Ishu, wrapped in colorful halos and black lava blocks, standing there unscathed. Senior Chin rubbed his eyes, as if he couldn't believe what he saw. It was Triangle Eyes who reacted first. He pointed at Chen Ishu with a shocked look on his face and asked, How could you still be alive?" Chen Ishu did not reply to his words. "On the one hand, I don't want to have too much contact with people like Senior Chin. On the other hand, it has the dual damage reduction of flame lava armor and elemental armor, thus avoiding the damage from the site of death." He thought that if he told him, others wouldn't believe him. Chen Ishu slowly floated down in front of the biological chimera. With the impact of the explosion and the slowness spell released in midair, he stayed in the air briefly. However, it was precisely because of this that he found the fatal weakness of the biological chimera at a high place. "You had a great time beating me just now, didn't you?" Chen Ishu sneered, and then condensed several fireball techniques in front of him. Then, on top of these fireball techniques, another layer of slowness techniques was covered. The flames, like exquisite handicrafts, were arranged neatly in front of Chen Ishu. Forbidden charge 50-50. The next spell released will be upgraded to a forbidden spell. Please choose the spell you want to release. Chen Ishu did not hesitate. Directly chose the fireball technique. Suddenly, a pure black flame slowly ignited from his palm. Afterwards, the black fire seemed to have a strong contagious power. The fireball spells that he had placed before him were dyed black one after another. Forbidden spell, Immortal Black Flame. Active effect, the body of Immortal Black Flame is condensed from the palm of the hand. When released directly as a skill, it will cause mental damage x 100, and there is a 100% probability of adding the black flame burning state to the target, causing mental x 30 per second of harm. Passive effect, the Immortal Black Flame can transform one's own fire magic, so that when it is released, there is a 70% probability of adding a black flame burning effect to the target, causing spiritual damage x 30 per second. In order to deal with biological chimeras, enemies that can be resurrected multiple times, Chen Ishu chose a forbidden fire spell that can cause continuous damage. Moreover, he cannot choose to use Immortal Black Flame as a skill directly. In that case, although it can cause more than 17,000 horrific damage at once, it can only take away one life of the life chimera. It was Chen Ishu's plan to use the black flame as a source of energy to strengthen the fireball technique he had already arranged. Boom! The first black fireball shot out quickly. The life chimera didn't even have time to react, and was directly assigned the black flame burning state. Pure black flames, like the most cruel punishment in the world, constantly tormenting the body of the life chimera. Moreover, the energy of fire seems to be inherently restrained against monsters with attributes such as the undead and the dead. The life chimera let out screams that resembled human voices. In the end, he ended his first life miserably under the attack of black flame burning. At this time, Senior Chin and Triangle Eyes were dumbfounded. They really couldn't imagine that this miscellaneous fish mage had not been taken seriously by them before. It actually hides such terrifying power. They had never even heard of this kind of pure black flame. But when I saw the dungeon elite monsters at level 12, they were all roasted by the black fire and screamed in agony. Senior Chin could guess the horror of the flames with his toes. Brother Ishu, are you okay? Su Miao wiped the tears on her face, and then asked Chen Ishu blankly. Chen Ishu turned around and touched Su Miao's head. Then he chuckled and said, "Silly girl, how could something happen to me? I even promised Aunt Yun to level up with you." But at this time, Su Miao suddenly made a very bold move. She actually hugged Chen Ishu in front of everyone and said, "It's okay, it's okay. Brother Ishu, you really scared me to death just now. See this scene." Senior Chin also bit his lip secretly. Even if Su Miao didn't do this, he still knew that he had little chance here. At this time, Chen Ishu's cold eyes swept across Senior Chin and the others. Just now, the reason why Xiao Miao didn't move was because he was scared, right? As soon as these words came out, the bodies of Senior Chin and Sanjianjian suddenly trembled. The two looked at each other, and both could see each other's doubts. How did he know? Chapter 19. You will not live if you commit your own sins. Chen Ishu continued with a cold face, "It's nothing, it's a very simple reason. Su Miao and I have been playing together since childhood, and I know her courage very well. A mere biological chimera is not enough to scare her like that, so, someone must be up to something here." Chen Ishu's cold gaze scanned Senior Chin's team over and over again. At this time, a short-haired man wearing a purple robe walked out of the crowd with his hands raised. It's me. The eternal black flame is still burning behind Chen Ishu. Every time the biological chimera is resurrected, it will be swallowed by the black flames. The cycle goes on and on. Some people with a sensitive sense of smell can even smell the disgusting aroma of meat in the air. Such a terrifying scene made everyone start to fear Chen Ishu's strength. "Is it you?" Chen Ishu raised his eyebrows. "Why are you doing this? Do you want to kill Su Miao?" Chen Ishu's tone became increasingly unkind. The sense of oppression is getting stronger and stronger. The short-haired man knelt on the ground and said tremblingly, "No, no. I was ordered by others. If you want to find me, you should look for him." As he spoke, the short-haired man pointed at Senior Chin and Triangle Eyes. The faces of the two people immediately became extremely ugly. "Senior Chin, I didn't expect you to be this kind of person." "That's right, I misjudged you. If you can't seduce girls, you use such conspiracy to kill others. You are simply the scumbag among scumbags." Several girls in Senior Chin's team all looked frightened. They hugged each other and stayed away from Senior Chin and Triangle Eyes. Senior Chin had an innocent expression on his face, but he was already the target of public criticism. No matter how he explains it, no one else will listen. I. Senior Chin hesitated for a long time, but couldn't hold back a single word. But those triangular eyes look very open-minded. He said nonchalantly, "You guessed it right, I asked him to control Su Miao in place, but I don't think we did anything wrong." "Oh?" Chen Ishu looked at the Triangle Eyes with interest. His psychological quality is already very strong compared to that of Senior Chin beside him. I saw Triangle Eyes clearing his throat and said, "I just entered the dungeon and encountered a LV. What's wrong with you being used as a scapegoat? Don't forget, this is a dungeon, not a school. You fight for it, and dirty deeds of stabbing people in the back abound. In comparison, we are quite merciful." Chen Ishu listened carefully to Triangle Eyes' defense for himself. After a while, he smiled, and his smile was very cold. "Oh, if that's the case, do Xiao Miao and I still have to thank you? Thank you for not using more dangerous means to deal with us." Triangle Eyes naturally heard the irony in Chen Ishu's words. But he was not in the mood to quarrel with Chen Yishu at this time. Chen Yishu's unfathomable strength and the oppressive environment in the quiet place copy. They are all reminding him to run away. But the triangle eye was about to make a move. He felt as if his body was stuck together with glue. A circle of khaki swamp formed instantly beneath him. What did you do to me? Let me go. The triangular eyes were gradually filled with panic. But Chen Yishu had no intention of letting him go this time. It's nothing, I just want you to experience the despair that Xiao Miao has just experienced. Chen Yishu walked to Triangle Eyes expressionlessly, and then pushed him directly next to the biological chimera. At this time, the biological chimera was in a weak stage after being killed by black fire and had just resurrected its second life. Seeing fresh human flesh delivered to the door, the biological chimera ignored it and directly wrapped the triangular eye with its stump. No! No! After Triangle Eye just let out a scream, there was no more sound. Under the double attack of black flames and biological chimeras, the possibility of his survival was slim. After seeing Chen Yishu's ruthless behavior, Senior Qin. He also knew that what awaited him would not be a good end. He immediately knelt down and kept kowtowing to Chen Yishu, begging for mercy. Please, please spare my life, I really didn't mean it. Humph, spare your life? Su Miao was almost killed by a biological chimera just now. Have you ever thought about sparing her life? Chen Yishu's words were very cold and showed no mercy to Senior Qin. Senior Qin bit his lower lip, but he couldn't even say a word to defend himself. At this time, Su Miao stepped forward and advised, Brother Yishu, let's forget it. The culprit is the triangular eye. Senior Qin was just deceived. I don't think he is a cruel person. That's right. It's impossible for me to kill Su Miao. It was all under the orders of that triangle-eyed man. Senior Qin kept his kneeling posture and climbed directly towards the two of them. He also glanced at Su Miao gratefully. At this time, Chen Yishu said, Okay, I can spare your life, but the person you should apologize to is Su Miao. As compensation, I will take off all the equipment on your body and give it to her. This. Senior Qin did not expect Chen Yishu to offer such conditions. Although the equipment he wears is not of the highest quality, he bought it from the city at a great price. If you give it away so easily, wouldn't it mean that all your previous efforts have been in vain? However, under Chen Yishu's glare, Senior Qin still felt that his life was more important. So, he agreed to Chen Yishu's request. Su Miao, I'm really sorry, I shouldn't have thought about escaping just now, but used you as bait. With that said, Senior Qin took off his equipment and handed them to Su Miao one by one. Explorer Armguard. Quality, Green Premium. Spirit +10. Speed +10. Feature, the recovery amount of healing magic increases by 20%. Note, exploration is always accompanied by injuries, and with it, you have the power to ignore wounds and embrace nature to your heart's content, young explorer. Famous Explorer Ezer Al. Sage Pendant. Quality, Blue Rare. Physique +20. Spirit +20. Feature, Spell Chanting Speed +20%. Note, debates between sages often need to last for several days and nights. You not only need good eloquence, but also a strong body and an indomitable spirit. The rest are just some white ordinary quality junk equipment. But Chen Yishu still let Xiao Miao get equipped. Chapter 20 Efficient Leveling Method. After stripping Senior Qin naked, Chen Yishu and Su Miao stayed away from this group of people. Before leaving, Chen Yishu noticed the men and women who were with Senior Qin before. At this time, they all walked together towards the exit of the copy. Obviously, they no longer have any unrealistic illusions about Senior Qin. Chen Yishu even saw obvious disgust on some people's faces. Senior Qin is now a veritable polished commander. The two of them walked together into the depths of the silent land for a while. Su Miao suddenly asked, Brother Yishu, what is your profession? You are not an ordinary mage like you said, are you? Chen Yishu's body suddenly froze. With a complicated expression, he slowly turned his head and looked at Su Miao. Xiao Miao, do you really want to know? Seeing Chen Yishu's reluctance, Su Miao immediately changed her words and said, No, I just asked casually. If you don't want to say it, Brother Yishu, forget it. It'll be fine. Chen Yishu finally breathed a sigh of relief. It's not that he doesn't trust his childhood sweetheart. But I am afraid that if the news leaks out, what if I have such a rare profession and am sent to be sliced for research? I still have a lot of things I want to do. However, what made Chen Yishu feel a little confused? Generally speaking, when a professional reaches level 10, it will be accompanied by one turn. This is also the first job change for the basic profession that I awakened. In most cases, the first turn is the evolution type of one's original profession. For example, an archer is transformed into a hunter. Mage 1 is transferred into a grey robe mage or something like that. Only a very few professions will awaken to a completely different profession from the previous ones when changing professions. In response to this question, the mechanical voice in Chen Yishu's mind also gave a timely answer. The strongest profession that the host's body can currently bear is the Forbidden Arcanist. As the host's strength increases, the corresponding profession will be gradually unlocked. Note, Forbidden Arcanist selects the profession that is most suitable for the host for the system and can deal with most situations within the current registration range. Chen Yishu nodded slowly. It seems that I am different from ordinary professionals. I can't change professions once my level is high enough. But when you are strong, you can change jobs. Although it is a bit troublesome, Chen Yishu believes that a Forbidden Arcanist can bring him such a big surprise. Will the career I change in the future be so powerful? At this moment, a white light flashed across Chen Yishu and Su Miao's bodies. The message of level improvement lights up directly in the battle prompt in the lower right corner. Kill LV-12 Biological Chimera, Elite, experience plus 800. Leap level kill, additional reward experience plus 300. Kill without injury, additional reward experience plus 300. Chen Yishu's level has been raised to LV-11. Su Miao's level is raised to LV-7. Su Miao stared blankly at her attribute panel and the prompt in the lower right corner, and then asked Chen Yishu, Brother Yishu, how come you have so much experience? I remember that Senior Qin and the others were not the first to encounter this monster. Humans? Logically speaking, some experience should be given to them, right? Chen Yishu laughed, and then lightly flicked Su Miao's head. I see that you didn't listen carefully during class. The reward for killing the dungeon monster is not based on who encounters it first, but who has the highest contribution value. Otherwise, just find a few rough-skinned monsters. The profession attracts all the monsters in the dungeon, and then hides in a safe place to wait for the experience to be credited. Do you think such a good thing can happen in the world? Su Miao made a big blush in front of Chen Yishu. The overwhelming sense of shame in her heart almost made her unable to hold her head up. In order to divert her attention, Su Miao smiled awkwardly. Brother Yishu, I didn't expect that you are already level 11, which is higher than Senior Qin. He has been practicing for half a month and is only level 9 now. Chen Yishu would not lower his status to compare with Senior Qin. He doesn't deserve it yet. Okay, take care of yourself. Didn't you notice that the experience gained from killing the biological chimera just now allowed you to level up twice? After Chen Yishu's reminder, Su Miao noticed her skyrocketing attribute values. Yeah. It's true. Name, Su Miao. Level 7. Occupation, Water Healer. Physique, 61. Magic Power, 103. Strength, 15. Spirit, 58. Speed, 17. Equipment, Explorer Arm Guards, Sage Pendant, Leather Boots, Goblin Ear Protection Hat. Combat Power Rating, 3 stars. Skills, Water Mist LV3, Running Water Healing, Single Target, LV3, Rainbow Formation LV1. It can be seen that after taking over Senior Qin's equipment, Su Miao's attributes have also reached the upper middle level of the same level. Although not as perverted as Chen Yishu, he is not a flower vase at all. In the battle, Chen Yishu's rhythm will not be slowed down. The panel on Chen Yishu's side has also undergone slight changes. Name, Chen Yishu. Level, Level 11. Occupation, Forbidden Arcanist. Physique, 43. Magic Power, 254. Power, 19. Spirit, 181. Speed, 31. Equipment, Flame Lava Armor, Slime Staff, Sacrificial Gem. Combat Power Rating, 5 stars. Skills, Fireball, Max, Slowness, Max, Blizzard, Max, Elemental Armor, Max, Thunder, Max, Taboo Charge 2/50. Thunderfall, Max Chanting Time is 0.5 seconds, Cooling Time is 3 seconds, and consumes 20 magic points. Active Effect 1, designate any 10 by 10 meter area to form a thunderstorm cloud, automatically lock onto enemies within the range, and release 9 lightning strikes from heaven. Each lightning strike will cause spiritual damage x20, and have a 30% chance of paralyzing the enemy. State, the enemy in the paralyzed state will be unable to take any actions. Active Effect 2, pay additional magic value to condense a concentrated thunderball in your hand. After a short period of charging, it will cause mental damage x25 to enemies within a straight line, and there is a 30% probability of putting the enemy into paralysis. Enemies in a paralyzed state will be unable to take any actions. Passive Effect, the damage caused by lightning has a 50% probability of causing a chain reaction. The 5 surrounding units will receive chain damage, and the damage value is 30% of the original damage. It took Chen Yishu a while to understand that the newly unlocked lightning skill had terrifying potential. Although the mental bonus is not as high as the fireball technique. But Luo Lei is more flexible and has a wide range of applications. And most importantly, the more enemies there are, the higher the damage caused by lightning. These are all the additional benefits brought by its passive effect. It can be said that in the Quiet Land, this kind of large-scale copy of zombies appears in hordes. Chen Yishu can conquer the world with just one skill, Thunder, without the need for other skills. Moreover, the active effect of Thunder 2 allows it to fight even against super powerful single targets such as elite monsters. This is why Chen Yishu feels that Luo Lei is highly flexible and has wide applicability. Brother Yishu? Why are you laughing? Su Miao started to be in a daze after seeing Chen Yishu open his attribute panel. Then now the corners of his mouth started to rise crazily again. Su Miao was afraid that the death glare from the biological chimera had caused some irreparable damage to Chen Yishu's brain. It's nothing, Xiao Miao, I just unlocked a new skill and was just checking the effect of the skill. Chen Yishu casually gave her a perfunctory sentence. Then he stood up and walked towards the gathering place with the largest number of zombies. As he walked, Chen Yishu said to Su Miao without looking back, Xiao Miao, we were just having a little fight before. I will show you a more efficient leveling method in a while. You are listening to it in Eugene Light Novels.